Ça fait spécial. Hello, everybody.
We are live.
We are live with a strange man
Happy to be back.
on my left side.
Been a while.
Everybody hearing us okay? Because we don't have any special mic. We're using the microphone from the camera.
Can you hear us?
We just want to make sure that you hear what we say.
Nobody wants to hear you.
I'm going to go away. I want to see Paul the cat, but he's not here.
I don't have a cat, so
He's not here.
Well, I might have a cat Pokemon plushie somewhere, but
Cat Pokemon. Oh, there's a nice delay.
Yes, I can hear us. Good.
Told you have to mute the microphone.
Good day, everyone, and hello to everyone from Alabama for no reason. What's there to see in Alabama?
There are probably a lot of stuff to see there, but I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Shortwave live show. It's a very weird place and a very weird show. And of course, we are live usually twice a week. This is the last show, by the way, for 2020. I will be taking the next 2 weeks off. We'll be back with a VHF UHF show on Sunday, January 3rd. So that's going to be what's going to happen next. So this is a show about radio. We're here twice a week. Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 0 hours Universal Time. That's Thursday for a lot of people around the world. And Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 20 hours Universal Time. We talk about radio. We answer questions about radio. And we have fun tuning the bands and just, sharing our knowledge. And hope that everybody enjoys. Today's a little special because I'm with somebody that appeared on the show a few times. It's my nephew, Gabriel.
I've been in the chat a few times this summer too.
Yeah, he's the one that's the proud geek when he shows up in the chat room. And he has my old Texan PL 450 portable radio. So that's what he's using as a shortwave. I did bring with me the Texan PL 990X. So this is going to be the radio over here.
Cool.
It's interesting because the noise level here is actually lower than where I live. So
maybe this summer you can do your live show from my balcony instead.
Yes, it's totally possible. So of course there's a chat room with a lot of wonderful people from around the world. If you want to join there, there's a Facebook group which is official SWL channel, same name as the channel here. That's where the party continues, and that's where all the things happen and the events happen, and people post pictures of the radios, videos, and just have fun sharing with what we love, radio. It's as simple as that.
That's not the channel for people who loves mini-pot?
Not really. If you like, dragons or whatever, it's fine. But that's not what we're going to talk about here.
Oh, I'm leaving.
Unless it's a dragon that has a radio in it.
Never know.
So, I'm sure one exists. There must be a dragon AM/FM radio somewhere. So thanks for accepting me. We are allowed one person when we live alone. So
yeah,
and we have our
here in Quebec.
We have our social distancing, and we are on sake.
Yeah, today drinking sake. I've got quite a few.
We've got a few bottles, and
this is our first today. It is the Tamano Hikari Omachi Junmai Daiginjo Sake.
Whatever.
So this bottle here, I don't know. The lighting is not great.
Yeah, but,
and this it is 48% of its original size. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
And I must admit, the resulting drink itself has a full and well-rounded taste. Don't you agree?
Yes.
It's I know so much about it. It's almost as if I was reading from the website.
So it's going to be the sake channel now. And
I think we should specify we're not paid by Red Bull to have a Red Bull flag and say Red Bull all the time. So we won't say Red Bull too much today, even if
I should have brought my pirate flag and temporarily put it up there. So yes, sake today because it's our sake. Usually we have an event.
Yes.
That's called Kampai. That is downtown at the Palais des Congrès.
Marché Bon Secours.
And Marché Bon Secours, yeah.
Yeah.
Marché Bon Secours, sorry. So this year, of course, that event was virtual, and we missed out on the virtual side of it. So we thought we'd do our own virtual sake night.
Because why not?
And why not?
Every day is a good day to drink sake.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, we'll be drinking sake for tonight, which is unusual. I don't think we've drank sake, you know. You know what? When I said that I was coming here for the show, the first comment that showed up in the chat room on Wednesday night was retro gaming.
Well, I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game consoles that we can use afterward.
I have to say I did something very, very special. I loaded the Commodore 64 emulator and actually downloaded the ROMs for World Games.
Oh.
Just in case. Just in case.
Oh.
We didn't know what to do tonight and wanted to try our skills. So we'll see. And so welcome. Thank you for having me here. And
great pleasure. It's nice to see someone for once.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been following the guidelines from health services and confining, working from home since March. So yeah, it's nice to see someone.
Yeah, it is
because I'm allowed to have one person in my place since I live alone.
It's a complicated time.
So, yeah, I'm pretty happy to just socialize.
Socialize sake and sushi later on. So
and I actually ate some Japanese curry for lunch.
So it's a Japanese day for you.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Every day is a Japanese day for me.
Yeah. Well, I arrived here and he was listening to some Japanese music and animes and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's the usual world of my nephew.
Actually, if you take the last 9 months and take the last 10 years, every TV series I've watched, all of them, the last 9 months account for about 25%.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing else to do.
Do you still listen to the radio?
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So he has, like I said, the Texan PL 450, which is a very, very surprising little portable receiver. And when one of my first Texans, maybe the second or third Texan I've ever purchased in my life. And an amazing performer for what it is, a beautiful sound, really a great little portable. I believe it's still sold online. So if you guys see a Texan PL 450, it does not have single sideband, but it's truly a nice little portable for shortwave and AM/FM. It's one of the great little portables. Actually, when I gave that one to my nephew, I thought maybe I should purchase another one for myself to have the replacement. And maybe I should look into that. But of course, I'm spending so much money on radios that, So we will say hello to Bobby Burgess, WA5107 SWL in Morgan City, Louisiana. Nice to have you on board. And finally, you have internet. Yes, after so many days. Hi, brother. Nice to have you here. From Arkansas, Tim Lewis. Happy Christmas, Joyeux Noël. Nice to have you on board. And it's cool to have everybody here. And nice to have you here from Long Island, New York. Rob, nice to have you on board from Phoenix, Arizona. Revelda 65, New York City. NL 13851 from the Netherlands. We have Arjen Huisman. Nice to have you here from Cyprus. CT1 ETE from Portugal. We have the Proud Geek from somewhere in a social distance situation.
In a living room near you.
in a 6 feet distance. Hopefully, I hope your couch is enough for 6 feet.
That's what I like about social distancing, And when we talk in French, we say 2 meters. 2 meters.
2 meters.
But in English, they say 6 feet. So if you speak English, you gain 20 centimeters.
Yeah, it can be 20 centimeters closer and have, I don't know, a better chance of getting COVID. Oh, man.
Jerry DX saying no Santa suit. No Santa.
No, because I don't have my Santa suit this year. It crapped out last year. So I wanted to, with everything I was doing, I totally forgot because one of the things I wanted to do was to actually purchase a Santa suit. So, but I totally forgot. So no Santa suit. Yes, I know it doesn't look very Christmassy, but hey.
We should specify Santa is immune to the coronavirus.
Yes, he is, and of course. There's an app that he knows very well, which is...
Yes, if you don't know about Portable North Pole and you have kids, check it out. It's pretty cool in these days to send little messages from Santa to the little ones and help them cope with the harshness of this year.
Yep, cool.
Portable North Pole.
Portable North Pole. Randy, Riverside, California. Arthur's Other Croucher's Kitchen from Massachusetts. Joe, nice to have you here from Chicago. Peter Zakal, nice to have you here from Hungary. Tommy Exer, WPE2KED from Hudson Valley, New York. Jeff Williams from Southwest Cornwall, UK. Maniac, I like Maniac DX. That's a nice one. Maniac DX. WA1089SWL from the great state of Maine. Shady Pyro 90, nice to have you here. I lost my spot totally where I was.
It does not matter.
Video's a bit fuzzy. Well, there's not much I can do about it. We'll have to deal with that.
Yeah, we don't have your usual lighting actually.
Yeah, I have 25 million spots on me, and it's kind of a weird thing here. I'm just gonna check out something from my YouTube.
Our only lighting is lamp with no cover there. But another lamp hanging from the ceiling over there. And
it's kind of a little weird. Setup is very basic right now, so hang in there, guys. It's not the usual.
Why don't you leave your phone alone?
Because I want to see myself. I'm one of those persons that want to see
myself. There's a mirror in the bathroom if you want to see yourself.
And of course, there's an ad to watch that I have to pass. Here it goes. So
can't you see yourself in the TV?
Yeah, but I want to see the stream quality is different. And I just saw your arm go extend. It doesn't look that bad actually. So I don't know. Make sure that you're full HD in the.
I have good Wi-Fi.
The receive. So okay, so that's where I was. Shitty Pyro 90, nice to have you here. MDK2, Matt in Denver, Colorado, from the line at the post office.
Yep.
Cool. Hope there's not too many people there.
Oh my.
Michael, nice to have you here, and thank you for answering our question if we could be heard or not. We have Hector Vasquez, nice to have you on board from Los Angeles, California. Jerry X, nice to have you here. Stephen Wood, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, nice to have you on board. Warsis, nice to have you here. Chastank, nice to have you on board. We have, so Warsis ordered an MLA30. You're going to be happy. It's a great antenna. Rodolfo 65, 69, 60, upper sideband. WTF worldwide radio coming in strong. That's out of curiosity, CF 6960 upper sideband. That would be kind of huge. Yeah, it's not very strong when it's there. And here's some music. I'm just using the telescopic. When it actually gets a little stronger, I need to hear something. There's something in the noise, definitely. So CTF. Oh,
Oh, yeah, I heard something too.
Yeah.
We do hear something, whatever that is.
It's a pirate radio.
Mm.
So WTF Worldwide Radio. And we're not going to say exactly what WTF means, not to offend everybody. Page Master, nice to have you here from Moore, Oklahoma. Saturday Dec, hey Gabrielle.
Canadian Radio TV guy, 10 minutes late. Welcome.
The way you write it, Jerry, it's a female version of Gabrielle. Gabrielle is E-L and ends there.
That's why everyone...
2 L and an E, that's a female version of Gabrielle.
That's why everyone at the office just call me Gabe. Easier.
Nino Savat, nice to have you here from Ottawa. Does the Red Bull banner over the couch mean that Max Verstappen will be making a guest appearance?
Right?
Doesn't know. I guess not. Maybe we don't have the budget for that. 45 unit, nice to have you on board. And hope 2021 is better. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're all hoping for that. Chili Pyro tried the lavender lemonade from BX Express. Was yummy. Okay, that sounds interesting. It sounds interesting in a really hot summer day. Not like the weather we're having here.
Well, I know it was sunny this morning.
Yeah, it's like grayish, like you want to jump off the balcony type grayish. Trusted, nice to have you here from Newfoundland, Canada. X80Xer, nice to have you here. Keegan from Northwest Arkansas, 54 Fahrenheit and sunny. That's a little better than here. Here it's something like minus.
Well,
it's -5. So
-5? Oh, we could have asked Alexa.
Oh yeah, but
and
yeah, you would have triggered everybody's.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I was joking around with that with the Google Assistant the other day, and I noticed that my new 10-inch tablet actually responds to it also. It was like, oh, oops, sorry. So sorry for no Santa suit, and we'll try to fix that next year. What else do we have? The casting couch. Yep, that's the way it is. People that want to be famous on the shortwave show, they have to sit down here and we try their skills.
People who want to be famous on your channel sit on the couch.
Hey, it's better than sitting on Santa. That was a bad joke.
I mean,
that is a bad joke.
Amen.
Kevin Z 1976. I heard that mass amounts of sake may provide protection against COVID-19. That might be fake news.
I can assure you there's enough alcohol in this place to cure everyone from COVID.
Let's cure the world with sake.
You don't see it, but in the corner over there, there's...
Oh yeah, he's got a bar. He's almost got a bar. Like we can probably make almost any drink that you have at a regular bar with what he has there. And we usually fall back on that when there's nothing else around.
I mean, I don't drink often, but when I do, I have choice.
And that's good. That's good. What else do we have? So Chastang says 43 Fahrenheit overcast in Louisville, Kentucky. What else do we have? Squawked out. Do any shortwave SSB receivers offer LSB and USB? Not every receiver separate the upper lower sideband part. There's two. That's something I'm not even sure we ever talked about actually when I think about that question. So when you buy a single sideband receiver, SSB receiver, there's the receiver that has what we call a BFO. That means that you simply tune the frequency and with the BFO knob try to get a clear voice if you want. Okay. It's still upper lower sideband depending on what side of this BFO you're going. But it's a little more trickier to try to tune in, and people that have that type of receiver often have more difficulty understanding how to tune correctly because it's tricky. But some receivers offer a separate upper-lower sideband, which makes it a little easier to tune because if you know that a certain signal is an upper sideband, you can already put it in the right mode, and it's going to make it easier for you to tune around. So like the Texan PL990X, Texan PL660, 680, they both have separate upper-lower sideband, for example. XH Data D808 also has separate upper-lower sidebands. Seacrane CC, Skywave SSB. It definitely helps in making it a little easier to tune around a single sideband. VE3KRP, Fast Eddie, nice to have you here in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Caesar, nice to have you here from Romania.
Yep.
James Johnson, you sound just like Uncle Jill.
Well,
Uncle Jill.
Same family?
Yeah, pretty much. I need second.
Yeah, sure. So,
the uncle needs to get drunk.
There you go.
Not too much.
Not too much, man.
I'm waiting. So, he's been filling my sake, and I every time he does it, I'm like, yeah, how much time is it going to take before we drop some on the couch?
You can do it above the laptop if you want.
I prefer couch.
But just for reference, every time we empty a small bottle, so this is the small version, 300 milliliters, it's the equivalent of each of us drinking 1.5 beer, more or less.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No, but if we drink 4 bottles in 2 hours.
Everybody knows that.
It's going to get better and better as the show goes on.
Yep. So, can I go back to where I was? Because it's like I lost my spot again. So, okay, here we go. We have St. Joseph 74. Nice to have you here. St. Joseph 74, Texas AG5QQ. Pretty cool. Traps Tank uses his bagpipes to keep folks at a distance. that could work, actually. John Doe, nice to have you here. Good day. What frequencies and time of hour do we need to look at for Christmas pirates? So usually pirates, the best time for pirates is in late afternoon local time to evening. That's where the pirates have most activity. But in the Northern Hemisphere, like here in Montreal with the short days, I've noticed that pirates are active at this time almost all day long. For frequencies, if you're in North America, frequencies to try for 6850 up to 7,000 kilohertz. But also try the lower frequencies like 4,000 to 4,200, 5,000 to 5,200. A lot of pirates have been using lower frequencies due to propagation, and we're hearing it a little more now.
Do we? Yeah.
I'm very far picking antenna just.
I think I still have that super long cable antenna-ish that you lent me the other time. If you want a longer antenna.
It's Christmas song. I think it's a Christmas song playing on 6960. That's what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. So we do have a WTF pirate. So that's the best time is really late afternoon to early evening. But look, we're mid-afternoon pretty much here, 3 p.m. And there's already a pirate 6960 coming in. So with an outdoor antenna, it would come in probably great.
What kind of equipment are these pirates using to be able to broadcast like that?
A lot of them use modified amateur radio transceivers.
Okay.
And some of them are surprisingly weak in the amount of power they use. One of them, Captain Morgan Pirate, that I've heard a few times, is using only 25 watts apparently. Okay. Which is very low power, and it's amazing that we can actually hear him. But some of them I suspect are in the kilowatts, 1,000 watt,
Mhm.
2,000 watts. One of them, Wolverine radio, is called. That guy has a lot of power because we hear him when he's on the air. Often we hear him like across North America like, easily. And what's nice about that pirate, Wolverine, he has themes. So you have to listen to the songs.
Okay.
And each song refers to a specific theme during his show. And usually at the end, he has what we call slow scan TV pictures that he sends out, which also gives the hint of what we are listening to was a show about love, about whatever. So it's kind of interesting. It's fun that there's kind of a, every time you listen to him, you're trying to find out, okay, it's a song about, well, okay, tonight he has songs about heartbreak because everything's related to that. Or one night is going to be songs about boats, anything that has to do with boats or whatever, ocean. Okay. And every time that he does his show, there's a theme. And all the songs that will play, each and every single song mentions something about that theme.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a radio adventure.
Yep.
Like in the 1920s.
Yep. The only thing I find sad about pirates today is that they rely too much on music. The pirates, when I started listening to shortwave, were more inventive. They would actually be creative. They would create personalities and have, humor shows or all sorts of.
Well, I mean, if you can create a good show, even as a pirate, in the end, it can become something like if you aspire to do something more than being a pirate.
Yeah.
It is something that can just be beneficial if you're not ashamed of saying, well, I did pirate stuff for a while and now I have experience.
Yeah. It is illegal to be a pirate, but
I mean,
and I suspect that some of these pirates are actually licensed amateur radio operators, so they probably do not want anybody to know who they are. It's like out of band. There's a CB band, but around it, there's now a lot of modified equipment that some use to transmit outside the CB range, which becomes illegal. But the funniest part is that there's a ham radio operator that I hear on the amateur bands at night that lives just north of Montreal here.
Okay.
The other side of Laval. And he has a very distinct voice. So at night, he has contacts with his ham friends from southern Quebec. And sometimes on the illegal 27555 calling frequency, he actually is there calling CQ, asking for other stations to answer. And it's kind of funny because, yeah, you're the licensed amateur radio operator. I recognize your voice. And now you're doing something illegal, which means technically if somebody complains, he could lose his license. You have to be careful. Of course, some people suspect that I know some pirates. I don't know.
Me?
I don't know.
I'm not one.
I don't know. Bill Curry, N8UUP. Nice to have you here from Southeast Lower Michigan. Augustin Bernard. Nice to have you here from Edmonton, Alberta. Kevin in New Jersey. Nice to have you here. WS2H. We also have Canadian radio TV guy. Merry Christmas. We have Joseph Nusa that says 2 Quebecers are better than one. I always say. Joseph Fitzgerald, nice to have you here from Boston. Shelley, nice to have you here. Merry Christmas from snowy Pennsylvania. We have Jet Crafter from Southern Maine. Nice to have you here. Canadian Radio TV guy says here 10 minutes late. Just finished some editing. Who's the other guy here? Who are you?
I am the Proud Geek.
Yes.
So yeah, those who just joining wondering, I am his nephew. I've been on this specific show maybe once or twice.
I think twice.
On the radio show?
I think twice.
Been in the chat for a while.
And it's been a long time. The radio show The last time you appeared on the radio show was the Christmas special
the Christmas from my office.
From your office, from Santa's workshop
from the
2
North
years
Pole,
ago.
Actually,
yeah. We were at the North Pole.
Please, no Christmas anymore.
So if you, he lives Christmas 365 days a year.
That's right.
If you want to go into what is a very Christmas show later today, if you have nothing to do on the channel here, just search for Christmas 2018.
Yeah, it will be 2018
show, and it's going to be a very Christmas show.
Yeah. So it has been also a few years ago when we did From the Couch on the Windows channel.
Yes.
And for a while I did stuff on the Proudly channel, but had less time for that. Just as a quick shout out, people who are interested in Formula One, I have the F1 Corner channel that you can look at and trying to do something with it.
How many subscribers do you have right now? How many subscribers right now?
I'm at 60.
60.
Right now, yeah, in about 6 months. Okay. So, and it's very basic to start with. I have ideas for the upcoming years, but my goal was to just start something, and
you gotta take the time.
Now trying to build on it.
Because you gotta build, and you gotta, the audience needs to find you.
I made a Facebook page, the F1 Corner, where I also post and hashtags. So.
That's the thing about YouTube is I have I don't know if maybe it's I have an idea for 2021 actually. I want to create a new channel and see how long does it take for me to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark and the 4,000 hours of view to have it monetized. Because one of the things that I actually am asking myself is it more difficult to raise a channel in 2020 than it was in 2012 or 2011 when I did it?
Probably because, I listen also to some other YouTubers sometimes, and they say like when they started in 2012, 2010, they were like 1 out of 10 who were doing serious work about what they talk about. Now there would be 1 out of 1,000. So
one of the things also that is sad for some of the YouTubers out there, because you were part of that problem when YouTube decided to put rules that changed that to be monetized you needed 1,000 subscribers for 1,000 hours in the last year. You had a monetized channel.
Yep, I had.
Because you could monetize from the start when before. And unfortunately, you're part of the ones that lost the monetization because you had not reached the level that was required.
But I'll say, like, right now, that other channel, the F1 Corner that I'm doing it because I enjoy it.
Well, that's the first thing that I always said.
I enjoy it. Even if it does not become something big, like overall, it's something I'm trying and that I want to build on to, maybe do something else later on. Just to use worst case as something in my portfolio. Like you see, I have that. I can do that.
Yeah. Did you share the link? You can share the link.
No, I did not. I'm
going to share the link if you're interested in Formula One racing.
Yes, and I started in March before COVID stuff.
Okay.
Then COVID happened, and it kind of dropped a bit. But when the season really got started in July with the Australian Grand Prix, I really got back into it, and I wanted to do something. Like I had between March and July to rethink a bit, and there was no one anyway, so it was starting, so who cares? But it's really
I think that's the spirit of YouTube today is if you want to do something on YouTube, go for it, but just enjoy doing it. Okay, because anyways, it's going to grow at a certain pace depending on what you do. It takes more or less time. If you're lucky, sometimes you're lucky. You got a break and there's something happening. Like on my Windows channel this year, there was a major tech news channel that actually shared a couple of my videos, and because they have a lot of visitors, it boosted my channel. But that's kind of luck, because somebody picked up one of your videos or a bunch of them to and put the link on their webpage, and you're like, wow, okay, I just got a boost, and I'm wondering how. You wake up in the morning and like, how can I have double the views from 2 days ago? What just happened?
On my side, I've noticed some trends depending on what I talk about. And,
there are.
Like I said at the beginning, I started just with the idea of I'm starting something.
Oh yeah.
Now 6 months later, I look at what I did back in July, and I'm like, oh, that was shit. And I'm sorry for the word, but and I'm sure I'm gonna look back like in a year from now and be like, okay, well, what I did in 2020 was crap, and so on, just because I want to improve.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have ideas for the upcoming years. It's just a matter of finding the time to put everything correctly in motion, because working full time, man, doing
that's
YouTube channel that does not bring any money.
I will say one thing
is tough.
I think one of the reasons also the growth is bigger on my side is because I dedicated that as being my job. So I give it as much time, if not more, that you give working, a 9-to-5 job or whatever.
I don't have that luxury at the moment, sadly.
Yeah, well, we have to earn money, and you have the choice of being poor and live in a box, or working and
I want my bucks.
Working and living in a bigger box.
Well, Paul the cat seems to like his box.
Oh, Paul the cat loves the box. I can tell you that. He's got luxury boxes. So
we just finished our.
So we finished our first sake.
Well, almost finished when we drank that. Our first bottle, which was, I remind you, the Tamano Hikario Machi Junmai Daiginjo Sake.
Okay.
So, shall we give our opinions about it, or you want to keep on?
I love it. It's exactly what you expect when you think of sake. Actually, immediately the first thing that came to mind is, that's a decent sake that tastes.
There's a fruity flavor to it.
Yeah.
That I like. It's not sweet. It's just that in between of cheap sake and sweetness. So. Not a bad choice. And this one costed in Canadian dollars $17.50.
$17.50
in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, that's decent. It's and the size of the bottle. If somebody likes sake and wants to enjoy a little bottle of sake, it's just not. It's just a decent size.
That size is 3 alcohol consumption.
3 consumption.
Like 3 to 4 units if you're in the UK. So enjoying a meal or on your balcony during summer, you can open that and listen to radio.
Yeah, I think that's a nice. No, that's something I never buy. I should actually buy some sake.
I keep a few bottles just because sometimes during warm summer days, it's just nice to sit outside with a small bottle and just chill out.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I guess you could use that one and have it warmed up for those that like warm sake.
Yeah, probably. Though I've began to prefer cold sake after the event last year. The first time we went to Kampai, Montreal, where we tasted 25 different.
How many of them were warm? There was not that many that were warm last year.
1 or 2.
Max. So because I remember reading an article where they were saying that the Japanese actually, for the most part, don't warm up their sake.
No, usually warm sake is cheap sake. And by the way, did you know that we call this sake, but sake is just the Japanese word for alcohol. So if you go in a bar in Japan and ask for sake,
he's going to ask you which one?
Or you're going to get the cheap stuff of the place.
Okay.
But sake in Japan is not this rice alcohol that we drink here.
Okay. So thank you for that knowledge of sake, and of course next year will be the sake channel, shortwave and sake. That'll be perfect. Listening to NHK Radio Japan. Sal Marandola, nice to have you here from Pennsylvania. The Blind Picker, nice to have you here. Rob W0RAB. Rob is a blind am operator, so it's nice to have you on board. No, I don't see anything vulgar about the comment, Joseph Nusa. I like that. Rodolfo 65, WTF, what's the frequency? Yep, perfect. Perfect. What I think about Canada only hockey year, I'm not a hockey fan, so
I mean, the Montreal Canadiens are going to lose anyway.
I don't care that much, actually.
Care less.
I was a fan of baseball when we had the Montreal Expos, but I've never been a fan of hockey. I'm one of those weird Canadians that just don't understand the craze, but that's me, and I know it's a big, big thing. PLF Radio, bonjour et bienvenue de la France. C'est toujours un plaisir.
You probably understand even less my craze about Formula One. So.
That's a very specific thing. We go crazy over something. We love something in particular. I think a lot of the hockey craze, because maybe it goes with that also. The hockey craze is probably a family thing. Your dad, your family is going nuts on hockey. You probably have a chance of being nuts on hockey also.
And before I was born, the Canadians were winning. They start losing after I was born. So that's my fault.
So I hope you don't live too old.
If I look at our family history, I think we're screwed. We're gonna live pretty old.
But I look at my family. I mean, hockey was not part of my life when I was young. I played hockey. I played ice hockey with friends. I played hockey in the street with friends also, because I was the only one. This is an interesting story for you. Just the 69, by the way, for radio reasons, 6960 upper sideband, WTF radio playing. I was hearing some Christmas music. So for a piece of history for you, and I'm sorry guys, I see that the camera sometimes autofocuses regularly.
And listen, that's going to be on the exam, history time.
So because of your dad, which is of course my brother, okay, I was the popular guy for hockey on the street. And not because he plays hockey, because I don't think I've ever seen him play hockey. Because for some reason, my brother, his dad, had nets, the foldable nets that you could put on the street. We had 4 or 5 hockey sticks. And
I remember when I was a kid, we still had those hockey sticks somewhere in the wardrobe.
So I was a popular guy on the street, because when the other kids wanted to play hockey, they all knew that, Gilles has the nets and
were they those like yellow and red plastic hockey stick, or that came later?
No, that came later.
Okay.
They were the real deal wooden hockey sticks that you would use.
I think we had one.
And of course, we had the foldable nets. So I would put the nets in the street, which is illegal today. We would actually get a ticket today for that here in Montreal. But when I was young, we would put the metal nets in the streets, and we would play hockey. We would wait for the car to pass, then we'd continue our game.
South Park style.
And
honestly, on my street here, there's a car every 2 hours, so who would care?
One of the worst accidents that ever happened in hockey for me was we were playing ice hockey at in the park, and when I actually fell down, my friend Jean-Pierre, he also fell down at the same time, and he got a good smack of my skate right in the face.
Ooh.
it was the worst accident I'd ever gone in. It was like, yeah.
Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah, well, I remember him saying, ouch, be careful. It's like, yeah, like I chose when to fall down. But, it's accidents. You do sports, there are accidents, Come on. So, but I played hockey. But my dad was not, hockey was not playing at home. Never, never, never. So maybe that's why I don't watch hockey. Because if it was the other way around, if my dad or my mom or whatever would be crazy hockey fans, maybe growing up I'd become a crazy hockey
Even
fan.
on my side, like I said, my dad, your brother, and my grandfather, your father, not watching hockey.
Yeah.
Only the grandfather on my mother's side was watching hockey, and after that, never really got into it.
It was funny because we would go to the uncles or the cousins or, and there, I remember we would go there on the weekends, and there, the hockey was major. Everybody was watching hockey, Canadian Radio TV guy, KEMTS special test transmission. It's sad that because of the frequency, it didn't make it up here. It was unfortunately not very, it was not making it to North America. I kind of knew because the frequency that they used and the time, about half an hour before the transmission started, I tuned to Radio Exterior de España 96.90. That's the best test. If I hear Spain at that time on 96.90, yeah, maybe that transmission which came from Germany would have made it. Unfortunately, we have not, Spain was not even, it barely made a little dent on my SDR. So I thought, okay, if I don't hear Spain, I want to hear that transmission. But some of the European SDRs actually worked well for that. Aerial imaging, nice to have you here. Stephen Woods says medium wave signals from across the pond coming in fair to good levels at Cape Cod. He's got Armenia on 1377. Wow, that's the AM band.
The morning band?
So, yes, the morning band. James Johnson, nice to have you on board from Florida, WA4493. And the wife gave me the go for the S38E. So you're going to have a new radio. Incredible. They all have to ask their wives for permission to get a radio. No Drug Austin, nice to have you here from England. What do we have? Philip Radio likes the flag above.
Yep. Don't forget to subscribe to the F1 Corner YouTube channel.
That's called a shameless plug.
I mean, we're live. You cannot edit it. You cannot edit it.
Yeah, I guess. Squawkout says, do you respond to interview requests? Well, there's one thing that we're going to do in 2021 that is coming up. Since now I have a console, we drive the different audio from the different devices in the console for our shows. So you haven't seen that because you haven't seen how the studio went from, like poor lighting and the best we could do to tons of lighting systems everywhere, a audio console that drives the audio everywhere, and it's a little better than it was the last time you actually looked at it. So basically, the next year we're going to have some guests for all sorts of, we'll have guests if you want to just talk about who you are and join and explain to everybody how you came into radio. If some of you are expert in specific aspects of the hobby, we'll be doing that also. So it's kind of going to be interesting. The 2021, we're going to bring that for sure. So what else do we have? Steve Miller, nice to have you here. Oh man, I hate it when it jumps like that. I'm going to try to go down as fast as we can. Okay, so
I'm trying to keep up with the recent comments.
okay, so we're 118 watching right now. Not too bad. What else do we have? Let's see, check it out. Yeah, no snow over here. That's why we're not. That's why I'm not dressed in Santa. No snow. Doesn't look like Christmas.
There's a small pile of snow on the streets.
Yeah, and it's all brown. That means that it's been there for a while. Harold Burris, nice to have here. Great show from Long Island, New York. PL 880 owner and 100-foot wire. Works great. Cool. Ed, WX2R, nice to have you on board from New York. Joseph says, Sake is not as artist, so fear not. Ryan Jacob, any DRM receivers or software you could recommend? I tried the Dream software, but could never get it to work. Yeah, Dream software is a little tricky to have it working well. The problem with DRM also is that if the signal isn't perfect, forget it. You're not even going to get an audio out of it. Almost every time I tried it, I get to the point where it gives me transmitter information, the metadata of the text. Unfortunately, it doesn't. The audio never shows up. It's missing just that little edge for the signal to be decoded. Your best bet, if anybody wants to try DRM, and I haven't heard that one in a while, if you hear Voice of Nigeria doing DRM, is the easiest DRM to decode because they use low bit rate, which means that even if the signal's not perfect, it's easier to decode. So Steve Miller is from Arizona, Western Arizona. Nice to have you here. Branson, nice to have you on board from the Czech Republic. I want to wish a Merry Christmas. Wish you a lot of radio gift under the tree. Sorry for mistakes. Don't worry about it. Your English is perfect. SV O'Rourke, nice to have you on board from Hawaii. I'm pretty sure the weather is probably better there than here, even when it's gray. Bill Curry has WTF Worldwide 6960, and we're hearing the music in the background here.
Yeah, so it's getting better and better.
It's getting better, yeah, actually. So he's hearing it. And Michigan, Gaétan Bellil, bonjour et bienvenue, Sainte-Sophie. Nice to have you on board from Sainte-Sophie, Quebec. Matt Reader DXer, nice to have you here from the UK. And what do we have? Alan Mason, nice to have you here. Andy Coley, nice to have you here. Carlos Aguila, nice to have you on board. Hello, nephew. GH, nice to have you here from North Germany.
We have a nice amount of people with us.
John Jensen, K9WXX from Woodstock, Illinois. Nino Sabat says the F1 corner found it. Thanks. Cool. So you'll have more viewers.
Yeah, I'm following the current live chats and I see it.
I went from 60 to 63.
I mean,
no,
it's like somewhere.
Every subscriber counts. I mean, when you get a subscriber, you're kind of happy.
And I swear, half of them are not me, at least.
25 views. Yeah, well, I look at my own video 24 times.
So we will be due to a new bottle of sake,
yes,
right?
Yes,
so
we are ready for a new sake.
The first one. So you pick the next one. I'll show the offer after that.
Okay. How about we? How about the l'avant-dernier?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if we will see correctly on camera, but this
we have to put it close. It's gonna.
That's the sakes that we have for the day. Probably too much, and we're gonna have to do a second show.
We'll have it.
But that's the choices that we have today. So the big weird bottle. Okay. All right. So sake time. Woohoo!
For how long?
What?
Alexa just said something.
Let's try that again.
So she responded. She wants sake. Alexa
I will
wants
be
second.
back. I will be back. Trying to
No
not.
problem. Try not to
Not-
knock down anything. If he knocks down in the wires, it can be my laptop that goes. It could be his TV that goes. It could be the camera. It depends what wire you tripped over. So, what else do we have? Harold Burst, nice to have you here from Rockville Center. Hector Vasquez, 6960, signal in the noise level in Los Angeles comes up at times. It's getting stronger. It's actually getting stronger. It's really getting stronger here. For those that haven't seen, I bought my Texan PL 990X using just a telescopic. And that's pretty decent here. The noise level here is lower than from where I live, actually. Kevin Wood from Nova Scotia, nice to have you here. SoCal, nice to have you here from San Diego. Mad Rio DXer says, since you advertised my channel, I now have over 1,000 subs. Woohoo! This is cool. This is cool. No problem. If you guys have a radio channel, I'll be happy to talk about it and help you out, guys. You know, I always say this isn't a competition. I don't care if there's, you know, actually I'm happy if there's 10,000 radio channels. You know? Artist Alec Crafter says, well, I enjoy creating content for YouTube. Their algorithms and run for reasons baffle me. They removed a video of Alex Jones that I clearly put as laughing at him. Yeah, that's one thing you got to be careful. They aren't taking any chances. So even if you talk about something that you're laughing at, if it's a content, because Alex Jones right now is being blocked by YouTube pretty much of everything. It gets tricky. So, you know, you better have me, you know, talk like Alex Jones and try to sell something.
That's not Tom Jones?
No, that's Alex Jones. If you ever heard Alex Jones, you would say, oh man, you got it right. Actually, everybody's saying, yeah, you should take his place on WWCR.
So
that's the next sake.
Yeah, it is the Masumi Tokusen. So it is a mildly fruity sake that goes light and easy on the plate, but also on the wallet. I can confirm that.
It's light on the wallet and on the palate.
I know so much about sake.
Light on the wallet and on the palate.
So
you make me realize, you know, I do the International Radio Report show with Sheldon Harvey on CKUT, and we have our scripts. And what you guys don't see before we do the show, is that normal? You look baffled.
I mean, how do you open that?
That's the other side. How to open a bottle.
No, I mean, seriously. Does it unscrew? How?
It looks like a pop cap.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. A little bit like a, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
So when we do the International Radio Reports.
Smells good. Smell that. It's like a juicy fruit.
It smells fruity. Absolutely.
Did you empty your cup
yes.
in your mouth?
Yes. No, I emptied it on the floor to make sure.
On your knees.
On my knees.
I'll go slow.
Good. Wow, it really smells good. This is really, really nice.
Smells like juicy fruit, literally.
Yeah.
So, kanpai.
Kanpai. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Very different.
That is interesting.
Very different.
Very different.
That I would see easily in a nice warm summer day.
That's
really
a dessert.
cold.
That's a dessert. Yeah. The small bottle costed in Canadian dollars $11.95.
$11.95. That's not expensive. So to finish on Archer's Other Crafter's Kitchen, just saying that you got to be careful in the content. I have now been extremely careful of whatever I post, even what I say, because it's getting extremely delicate on YouTube. And, you know, once that algorithm starts kind of tagging you as having maybe offensive content, it's almost impossible to get out of that problem. So I know I get it. I mean, you're laughing at him, or you're just like, trying to express your opinion of how that is something you laugh about. But YouTube being joking, because they're getting. You have to put it in another way. I don't want to defend YouTube at all here, because I might sound like I am. What you also have to see here is that there's tons of regulations popping up everywhere, and it's getting super complicated for YouTube to also have content on, because there'll be a state somewhere in the US, or there'll be a country somewhere that's going to say, well, this is deemed as being a problem, and it's offensive, or it's something we do not accept. So they're starting to put barriers everywhere on what you say, what you do. It's becoming a little more mainstream. We often talk about YouTube being the place for free speech pretty much when it started, and it was that you could almost talk about anything, and it was the content was there. But it's become like regular television. Everything is super checked, everything is super worked out. But there is one thing you can do. If you deem, and that's a fair thing to do for anybody that's on YouTube, and I use that from time to time. If my content gets tagged as being inappropriate, or I have something, or sometimes I have a copyright claim from something, and I'm like, no, I can't accept that. Don't hesitate to say, no, here's why I do not agree with your decision. And that's going to force a real human to look at your video and give it the okay or not. I told you guys when I posted the Lincolnshire Poacher number station.
The what?
Lincolnshire Poacher. There's a number station from the past. It's very creepy. From the past that is, I'll let you listen to it after the show, because they're going to copyright me again if I play it now. So when there's a group that makes a thing called the Conet Project. They have a CD out with all the number stations from the past. They actually sent a copyright notice on YouTube for that content that I had posted.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a number station from, governments from the past. It's not your content. It's something from somebody else that you use. It's not your content. So I actually went against them. I said, no, that's not your content. You cannot copyright claim something you did not create.
Mm-hmm.
It's a recording from something else. And they immediately backed off. I think 2 days later, it was like YouTube said, okay, they're backing off. They're saying, no, it's okay. Because I think they're just trying, because one of the biggest things also about copyright complaints is that if you're monetized, that money suddenly goes to that person or that group.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there are some copyright trolls on YouTube that will try to copyright claim a lot of stuff you do, because they know that they'll be getting the monetization off of it. So don't hesitate to fight anything on YouTube. It's decent. They offer you the possibility to do it. Do it. Explain why in your own terms, why that should not be taken down and that should not be the way it is. And wait for the answer. You'll see they'll give you an answer if it's okay or not. Tim Lewis, why sake and not a Bordeaux? Well, that's because my nephew is very, my nephew in another life probably was born in Tokyo.
Yeah, I replied to that a little bit later. Says I had budget for either sake or wine, but my Japanese anime fan side said sake.
And that we all have preferences, and I mean, there's wine, there's sake.
It's been a while since I've drank sake. Also, I drink wine fairly often.
Gustavo Pinto, nice to have you here. Merry Christmas. He remembers Gilles Villeneuve from the 80s. I was watching live when the accident happened, and I still remember, it's one of those things that you remember all your life when something particular happens. So I believe it was in 1982 Shoot.
1982.
Well, I was up north. My dad's boss had a chalet up north in La Belle, and I remember we went up there because I don't know what there was a work related thing that my dad had to do, and of course, as a 13-year-old teenager, bored like hell, what do? You're tuning the TV. And because it was far away and there's mountains surrounding the area, there were two stations you were getting. And one was, I think, was Radio Canada, the CBC with the race. And there was another channel that I don't remember what. So for some reason, I stuck on the race. And I remember I was watching that accident happen live at that time. So, yeah. One of those things that you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph says, sacking and shortwave, I do it all the time. ADG680, nice to have you on board from across the pond. The ambulance is finally coming to get you.
Nah, it's the old people that lives in front.
You're used to it. What else do we have?
Yeah, we're used to it actually, and I'll admit that my parents live on the same street as I do.
Yeah.
And my father is obese. Every time I go for a walk and I see an ambulance turning in our direction, I always fear that did something happen and I was not contacted yet. That's personal thought.
That was I totally understand. I remember when my mom was getting much older, and I would see an ambulance drive to the old folks home or things like that. I was like, okay, is that for my mom now? That always come to mind. Nick Amado, nice to have you here from Romania. Dennis Whitehead, nice to have you on board. ADG Jay says, nice, hi Joe, and everybody from Quebec City. Nice to have you here. What do you think of the future of medium wave DXing with the all digital AM thing? I think it's not going to happen. So you guys know I purchased an HD radio because I wanted to see.
So you can watch your sound in HD?
Yes. So there's the firemen are here now.
Well, they usually come with the ambulance.
Yeah. So
maybe we are on fire and we don't know it.
That would what would be the best is that the ambulance is on fire.
I mean that's not Grand Theft Auto.
So anyways, there's a lot of action here. It's like it's better than my street. My street, nothing ever happens. So HD radio is. So they're promising us, is you probably don't know that, but so regular AM FM radio, for the last, it's almost been 20 years now. There's a craze of HD television.
They play the same 12 songs over and over again.
That's always radio.
Okay.
But so there's HD television, and they kind of gone into the idea that let's do HD radio. So that means that you're technically supposed to have better audio quality. And for the first time, because in the United States, the FCC passed a rule that tells AM radio stations, if you want to go all in digital, go ahead. It's okay. But the problem is we've had HD radio in North America for almost 20 years now.
Isn't that called paying more for your radio than the cheap one?
And it is more expensive for the most part, but it's not just that. It's there were a lot of HD radio stations at the start. Like everybody's thought this is the future, but there's less and less HD radio stations. And the band that benefits the most of HD is AM, because AM sounds a little crappy, especially for music. For voice, it's perfect, but for music, it's a little crappy. I have to say, when I hear an AM signal get HD, oh yeah, it definitely sounds a million times better. The problem is that no AM stations in Montreal are HD. There's a trick. CJ80 800 and Sports CKGM 690 are HD. They're HD on FM because Bell owns CJ80 and CKGM and AM. They also own 107.3 Rouge FM.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is, why the hell should I put HD on AM? So on 107.3 on an HD radio, you get Rouge FM and their music. There's HD1 channel that gets CKGM Sports, an HD2 channel, which is CJ80 800.
Okay.
So what they decided is, well, if I have to have an AM station in HD, let's just do it on separate HD channels on the same frequency on FM instead. Which means, so you're going to kill off AM. You're going to all do that and kill off AM. So it's,
I mean, bells suck in general.
20 years is just shown one thing, is that there's less HD stations. On AM, I get at night 3 US stations that can trigger HD on my radio when the signal's strong. And of the 3, 1 is left HD apparently, because the WPHT Philadelphia station, the HD display doesn't light up anymore, which tells me they finally said, you know what, let's turn off that HD signal, which is what has been happening for a while. Unless there's a big change, or unless there's, if I look in Europe, HD radio, what's happening? In Europe, they use a different system. They have their own frequency range for HD. Mm-hmm. Here in North America, it's IBOC, in-band on-channel, what they call, which means they're using the same frequency. They just add a data stream to it in that signal. Unless tomorrow they say, okay, well, you got 5 years and everything's going to be HD and you got to switch off the analog. I do not see HD ever getting any interest in North America. It's actually declining, which is the reverse of what it should be.
It's also with the younger generation. We don't listen to radio anymore. We don't watch TV, the conventional TV anymore. We watch Netflix. We listen to everything on Spotify, on YouTube, on name them all, iTunes Music, whatever.
Yeah. I think one of the problems, because where's the big listening of radio today? And we mentioned it quite a few times when talking about the ratings and talking about radio. In the International Radio Report, we had a few items about how radio shifted with COVID listening because there's no commute. People don't drive their cars to work. They work from home.
I mean, commercial radio, like the Rouge FM one, that only works because people are forced to listen to it.
What's happening is people listen to the radio in 2 spots. There's 2 places we listen to the radio, and one is when you're in your car. Radio is popular in the car, mm-hmm. and at work.
But then again, with cars that more and more are smart cars, or that have jack plug, can just
you could absolutely
and shuffle your playlist.
You could absolutely, but it's still right now what we see, and the statistics show it, is that radio in the car is still a big thing, mm-hmm. and that's where most people listen to the radio. What I want to say about so at work is the other place. They just shoved that radio on a frequency, and that happened to me in the last job that I had. For 4 years, we were on Mix 96, which is called Virgin Radio today. So it's like for 4 years, I heard the same songs over and over again. Actually, I listened to Virgin 96 buy tuning events just for the fun of it.
I will not say what I just thought.
And I will just say one thing, is that I had the impression that nothing had changed in the songs they were playing since 2000, when I was actually hearing them at my workplace. So, radio is so sake time again. It's a good one. Like it.
Yep.
Nice little fruity taste to it. Really, really cool. So HD radio for me is, I don't know, for now it's dead. And I don't even think that FCC ruling is going to change anything. I think the stations are just like, what the hell? And remember, a station has to upgrade its transmitters for HD, and they have to pay to a company called Ubiquity, which owns the right to HD radio, a fee every year in order to transmit an HD signal. So already AM FM stations are pretty much trapped for cash. They don't have a lot of money. They're trying to deal with what they have. You put an extra fee every year for HD, which is a nonsense. It's kind of stupid. It's like, you got to pay a company for HD. What? And it costs a fortune to upgrade the transmitter to HD.
Mm-hmm.
So unless they force HD in North America, it's weird because in Europe, Norway is one country, an example. Norway is HD only. If you bring an analog radio to Norway, you will not have any analog AM FM anymore, pretty much. Everything is moving HD. They have really moved on, and apparently the population there is all in HD, and it's like, okay, that's kind of interesting. But I can't see this moving forward here in North America unless, the TV, they gave us a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
They told us this date it's going to be HD only, and that analog signal is going to be shipped off. But the HD radio, there's no such deadline. There's no such information. I always thought we should have used the same route as Europe does, meaning that if you wanted to have HD in North America, why don't you use a new frequency range and dedicate that range to HD and see if who goes there, and
but they can't interest. Because they know that the new radio wave will cause a new coronavirus.
Oh yeah, HD radio coded.
Cove HD.
Cove HD. Pamela Militia Catty, nice to have you here. PLF Radio, it's a Texan PL 450, which was mine before, and that I gave to my nephew as he wanted to dabble a little bit more about shortwave.
Yeah, on Perry Island.
And yeah, Perry Island, it was cold that day.
Right.
It was kind of cold. Wasn't it October or something? It was pretty late when we went there. So Texan PL 450. What else do we have here? Oh man, I lost it. I hate it when it jumps like that. I don't know why it does that. It's always crazy.
You were about there, yeah. Maybe a bit
just stay here. Okay.
Yeah, you were exactly there.
Okay, here we go. Kenny Radio TV guy, KTMS, oddly enough, made it S3, S4 here in Western Canada. Hard to hear on with KBS on 9665. Yeah, there are some propagation things like that. I noticed that sometimes some signals are not making it on the East Coast, but you guys have it on the West Coast. Crazy Jane, Merry Christmas from England. Nice to have you on board. Mark Bose, nice to have you here. Erica Trell, bonjour, hi, nice to have you on board. Trying to fix a bad circulator on my heating system. Yeah, that's not a good thing, not having any heat. Kevin Wood says 6930, there's a carrier. Anything here? Let's check it out. Nothing here. Dan, nice to have you on board from Ohio. Merry Christmas. No clouds for Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one on Monday. Look for Jupiter and Saturn that will be extremely close together. Saturn will actually be as close. So when we look at Jupiter through a telescope, we see there some Jupiters. There's 4 major moons that we see easily. Well, Saturn will be so close to Jupiter, it will be in that distance of Jupiter's own moons.
It'd be cool if my brother passes by. He got like a $1,000 electronic telescope. If we have the opportunity, that would be super cool.
Yeah, so that's so on Monday night, it's gonna be kind of cool.
I remember the first time I saw Saturn in a powerful telescope where you can see the rings. That's super cool. And my brother's telescope. Did you ever watch the moon with it?
No.
No. When you magnify it to the maximum and you watch the edge of the moon, you actually see the moon moving.
Yeah.
That's so super cool.
Yeah, because you actually see, when you amplify with a telescope, you actually amplify. I
think it was 400 times for his.
So say that you amplify 100 times, you're also amplifying the movement of the moon by 100 times because you're much closer.
The first time I saw that was just so super cool.
Oh yeah. I still remember your dad when I actually ran up the stairs to tell him, hey, come down. I have Saturn in my telescope. And the first thing that he did was, and it's like he was so impressed that we could see the rings.
A few years ago, outside of the subway station, Mont-Royal, at night during summer, there was a guy with a telescope that pointed on Saturn. You could watch, and he had like a small tip jar. So just like,
cool.
Pretty cool.
That's
I will encourage that guy because he encourages science.
Yeah, and we all know that
science is obsolete.
Science. So there was an article in the newspaper to speak about that vaccine that we're gonna eventually get for COVID. When I'm part of probably the same as you, being like on the last part of the list at the bottom of who can get it. But the guy said, people are going crazy over science and saying science is, it's not capable of dealing with stuff and not doing the right thing and blah, blah, blah. And the guy said, can you just sit down and think about it? 9 months for science and for research to bring a vaccine is just amazing.
Yep.
Robert Prosper says, are we feeling nostalgic for 2020 yet? Are we going to be nostalgic?
I mean, can we open the champagne and say Happy New Year's right away?
It's going to have that feel. And in 10 years from now, we're going to be thinking back. Or we're going to see something about COVID.
Personally, honestly, I don't miss that much seeing people. I'm a pretty solitary.
We all know that. We are radio guys. Seeing people is.
But I don't miss seeing people that much. What I miss is just going to some events.
We're radio guys. Seeing people is an option that we try to avoid.
Like festivals, like music festivals, the Grand Prix, whatever I go to. Just being to events and the ambience that comes with it, like that party mode that comes with an event. That's what I miss. Like walking downtown Montreal during summer with whatever festival is going on that week. I missed that. That's what I missed.
Yeah.
But I don't miss seeing people because, everyone I know is stupid, almost.
Honestly, it's not seeing people that I miss. It's, except for a specific person, It's not seeing people that I miss. Because I'm the kind of guy that when he goes downtown, for example, at an event and there's people everywhere, it's like, oh, please, there's too many people here.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But I miss the event that is not happening because of it.
Yeah, because like like I said earlier, in the last 9 months I've watched 1,000 anime episodes plus like 10 seasons of Star Trek, and I'm not bored.
You know what we should do after? When we eat our sushis, we should go on YouTube and look at sake videos. There must be some interesting stuff that we could learn there.
There could be.
No, it could be interesting to see some sake videos. Maybe we'll see the wonderful world of sake YouTube channel or something.
I type sake, and the first thing that comes up in my search bar is a Japanese song from an anime.
I wonder why.
Oh,
He screws up my playlist. He comes to my place and looks at all this Japanese music stuff. And suddenly when I do like, okay, just go random and shuffle whatever you want to throw at me, it's like, what the hell? I'm hearing Japanese stuff mixed in with my regular stuff now.
How to drink sake like a pro.
Okay.
Which
that's
sake
very
is
interesting.
better?
Well, you know what? That could be interesting to just
Well, the only
agree or disagree.
the only verified channel is how to drink sake like a pro.
Okay, so we'll check that. George Dosher, nice to have you here from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. What else do we have? Let's try to go down as fast as we can so that everybody knows, Eric Cottrell says SDR Play is going to have SDR no plugin webinar. Oh yeah, absolutely, tomorrow. That could be very interesting. I need to look at the plugins, and including your plugin, Eric. I need to check that out and take the time to do that. In the 2 weeks I'm going to be off of the live shows, I'll also be probably relaxing a little bit, relaxing the videos a little bit on the channels. I'm going to take the time to do a lot of that stuff that I don't have the time. My time is like crazy. I need like 50-hour days.
Can't we just sign a petition for it and ask the government?
We want 50-hour days.
Yeah, 50-hour days and cancel winter.
We want big rockets that's going to slow down the Earth.
Yeah, just strap rockets to the Earth.
Can we do
the opposite?
Can we do a GoFundMe for that?
Strip rockets to the Earth that will go on the opposite side of its rotation, so that we have longer days.
I'm going to do a GoFundMe, summer all the time.
You need $57 billion.
Oh my God. Eric, I like the joke in there. Eric Cottrell, my SDR plugin webinar says my shameless plugin of the day. I like the joke. Yes, there's DRM on Kiwi SDR receivers. That's true. PLF Radio, forgot about that. Laura Robinson, nice to have you here from Georgia. We have put the sake in it. I like that. Nino Savat, you can never have too much sake, but a little unagi, nigiri, or sashimi.
Nigiri or sashimi, yeah.
Would make it great. We have sushi later, absolutely. Mike Bose, what do we have? What the hell? We have George Joshua is referring to radios, Roberts RS-7007, and a Globe Traveler from the 70s. These are nice receivers. That's fun. All the radios are fun.
This is the beginning of the end. I spilled a little
okay, it's time to put something here because
let's just go over the floor.
KW1161, nice to have you here from Tucson, Arizona. Garrett, nice to have you here. And in the Netherlands. Let's do it here because it's better to clean a floor than to
clean a couch.
Put a stain on the couch that never goes away.
There you go.
There's a good thing about that. If you stain the couch with sake, in 20 years from now, if you have the same couch, we'll just be saying, hey, remember that night we did the live show and spilled that thing here?
No, I don't. I have Alzheimer.
If you have Alzheimer in 20 years, they're going to be kind of young.
You will.
Oh, no, I'll be, I don't know.
Dead?
20 years. I'll be 71, so, I'll be talking about shortwave at 71, and all these young guys are going to say, what the hell is that guy talking about?
I already am.
What else do we have? And looking for a radio that takes 2 AA or 2 AAA batteries, has automatic tuning, and has good AM, FM shortwave. If possible, something for MP3 playback as well. Looking for something portable. Wow, with 2 AA through AAA batteries that would support MP3 playback. If you remove the MP3 playback capability, there's quite a lot of choices for AM, FM shortwave. MP3 playback. What do I have with MP3 playback that has like SD card capability on it? Yeah, there's not a lot of choice with MP3 playback. If you remove that, though, you will have quite a few models. The Seacrane Skywave SSB, for example, has that 2 AA requirement that you have. It's a little more expensive than a lot of radios, but you know, if you don't stick it, or if you don't lower it to just 2 AA's, if you don't mind having 3 or 4 AA's, there's a lot of radios out there. There's a lot of radios out there that are pretty good performers. Randall Klontz, nice to have you here from Northeast Illinois. Robert Prosper, this is becoming Soviet-like.
From Russia with love.
From Russia with love. I got a copyright strike because we played the Russian national anthem the other day.
Any World Games?
No, actually. So we were nostalgic, and we started talking about national anthems. And I said one of the most beautiful national anthems that I like is the Russian national anthem. I find it is beautiful, and I played one on the air. And the next day he says, "Well, you got a copyright strike by the Russian whatever group that claims that." Anyways, Joseph Newhouse, nice to have you here in Brazil, from Brazil. Kevin Wood got 25 centimeters of snow Thursday evening. Yeah, you guys probably on the East Coast there got that big storm that went up the coast. Everywhere was snowing on Wednesday night. Everybody that was on the East Coast, you guys were all in the snow, and here was like, nope, it's just cold.
Yeah. Was it Wednesday? No, Friday. I went out for a video.
Oh yeah.
I usually do my videos. Well, not all of them, but most of them walking in the park with a selfie stick and just talking. And I remember Friday was like, that's
cold. The phone said, "Hey, it's too cold. Go inside."
I got here and I was not sure that my phone shut down or did I hit the button while it was in my pocket, actually.
Well, it can shut down. Huh? You know that the phone, if it's too cold, will actually shut down.
I had that problem with an iPhone 4 back in the days. Never with my Android.
Always iPhones. Always iPhones.
Yeah.
George Dosher, remember listening to The Poacher with my Ninth Band Master. Man, I'm ancient. Yeah. Hey, we were talking about Radio Moscow the other day. It's like we're ancient. Himak, and I don't know how to pronounce the rest of that name. Now soldering your first Yagi antenna. Cool. You know, if I spark the fun of radio to someone, all I'm gonna say is it's really, really cool. What else do we have? Artist Crafter's Kitchen. By the way, I'm 25 minutes behind. Artist Crafter's Kitchen says, never tried sake, but it makes me think of James Bond in You Only Live Twice, which takes place in Japan. It's his drink of choice there. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Do you only live twice?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I saw that comment and earlier. I was like, I've seen every James Bond movies, but the old ones only in bits and pieces. They were on TV and I saw one part, then the next year I saw another part of the same movie, and so I pieced them up together. But this year I said, I kind of want to make sure I know what I'm talking about if I talk about 007. So about 3 weeks ago I said, okay, I'm gonna watch one James Bond a week. Okay. So I yesterday I watched Goldfinger,
Okay.
and next week I'm gonna watch another one. And
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so-
They're fun to watch. I
And-
mean, you know,
I don't watch enough movie to begin with. So it's like, one movie a week. Why not?
yeah, you know what? I have that problem too. I've been kind of slacking off watching movies a lot, and I need to, get back on some of that stuff. You know, where my knowledge of James Bond really, I kind of saw pretty much every movie up to like the early 90s, is that the CDC French service, Radio Canada, in the summertime, they didn't have much content to play. And for like 2 or 3 years in a row, their summer thing was every Monday night was a James Bond movie. So I remember that I always was saying, oh, you know what? This is kind of cool. Every Monday night I watch there's a James Bond movie to watch. And I mean, James Bond movies are always, they always have at least a minimum that you're like, yeah, it's okay, it's entertaining. They're not all good though. There's some bad ones in there, but I mean, they're still entertaining. Crazy Jane, yes, I watched The Truth Seekers on Amazon Prime, and they do have the Lincolnshire Poacher number station as part of their story. And actually now they got me because I want to see season 2, because the Lincolnshire Poacher is part of the beginning. So Truth Seekers is a parody of those ghost, the ghost shows where they go into houses and they talk about how there's presence everywhere.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
right.
blah. Well, Truth Seekers is a parody of that. And the guy listens to a number station, which is the Lincolnshire Poacher, actually. And of course, at one place, it ends on, I think it's episode 3, because they find a place where the numbers are sent. But the last episode, as they destroy, I don't remember what, he gets into his truck. And one of the last things you see is his radio comes back alive with the Lincolnshire Poacher again. And I remember I watched it and I was like, okay, you got me. I'm going to want to watch season 2 now. I want to know when they're back.
It's always like that.
But you know what? The Truth Seekers, I found it's okay. But man, there's not enough effort in that series. I mean, it could have been so much better than it was. It wasn't bad, but it could have been so much better. Especially with the guys that they actually hired to do that. I mean, it could have been really hilarious, much better than that. But, it was okay, entertaining. And of course, for a shortwave radio guy, the Lincolnshire Poacher means what? It means, oh, yeah, okay, there's something shortwave inside that. I need to check it out. David in Barcelona, nice to have you here. E83IEK. ¿Cómo está mi amigo? Donde en Barcelona, España. Jerry X fought a claim and won. Cool. You got to do it, James Johnson says, my friend had his car for 3 years before he realized his radio is HD. And I'm pretty sure for most people, that's exactly what it is for most people. Like they just don't know, but there's that HD logo. They don't even know why. Joseph says domestic AM is in slow decline anyway, which is sad, especially for travelers. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in North America, but I mean, I go crazy because in North America, there's the AM band at night is the conspiracy theories channels everywhere, and it gets a little crazy there. Erica Joel, it's too bad that Canada turned on their DAB, still active in Europe. Yep. Larry Nathan, nice to have you here from Israel, 4Z1008SWL. RJ88 Dakota, nice to have you on board. Says don't watch network TV, usually watch certain YouTube channels, sometimes on Tubi or Hulu. I don't watch TV, main TV in general. When I get in my living room and I turn on my smart TV, I'll go to Netflix,
Mhm.
or I'll watch something I want to watch on YouTube, or
Like honestly, when I was still with my parents, which is less than a year ago,
Mhm.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I was watching two things on regular TV: Formula One, and I was still watching Survivor on
Mhm.
global.
Yeah.
And well, I found out that I didn't find out, but I knew coming here that okay, Formula One, I can get F1 TV for like $80 a year. That comes with the official F1 app, everything live with and it's not the French stream, French Canadian, but it's Sky Sports, which
It's
is
okay.
even better because they have like three old drivers on site.
Isn't that British?
Yeah.
It's British.
Yeah, it's British. So it's like it's even better. So and I have all the practice sessions.
They have exactly what you want.
And
it's different. You have the exact content that you want.
That's it. And when I take all my subscriptions for Netflix, for F1 TV, for whatever else, and the total amount for stuff that I watch is not more expensive than cable for 200 channels that I don't watch.
The interesting, just look here. I mean, this live show was 100. We sometimes go up to 200 live people watching, but lately I've been getting from 1,000 to 2,000 views in about 3 or 4 days on each live show.
Like I was reading an article this week on regular TV during Christmas time. The movies that have the most popularity are like Asterix or Tintin, that kind of stuff. Everything else.
And so what's interesting is, it's all media that's taking a little bit away from the regular TV. I mean, radio fan, a shortwave radio fan, amateur radio fan, what's going to happen? They're going to be watching this instead of watching whatever boring thing TV has to offer. So all of this, YouTube and everything, is taking a chunk off of all of that. Jeff Barry, nice to have you here from Ontario. Jim, if someone makes a free plugin for SDR Play, I guess that would be illegal. Oh, you mean for HD, probably. So
remember that you are 30 minutes behind.
If there's a HD plugin, absolutely, it's illegal to have it on SDR Play because you have to pay the rights to have that embedded in North America. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. In Europe, it's DAB and it has its own frequency range also, as Eric is mentioning. Absolutely.
I like your audience. I'm making new friends.
What else do we have? So let's go down and try to catch up with the. I talk too much.
You do.
But that's what people want, or else the show would be boring.
People are here to hear silence, to relax. We should play some waterfall music in the background and pray that our Lord saves us all from COVID.
Joe Sambranuas, who are you? Go get Saki. Do something. Joe Sambranuas says here AM stations are shifting to analogic FM band. Yet any news about digital FM yet? Yeah, every country is different on the digital side of things. Marcos Polizzelli, nice to have you on board. Or JD Dakota, something like DAB Plus would be something that should be done. Yep, absolutely. What else do we have? Yeah, Keegan has his Part 15 transmitter. Robert Osborne, 11780, Radio Amazonas with some Brazilian music. So let's try it out here. We should hear Brazil on 11, 7, 8, 0.
Brazil speak Brazilian, right?
Oh, please. I'm going to smack you.
That was an article here.
Do it again, I'm going to smack you.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's actually there.
Yes, I know Brazilian speaks Portuguese. I know that.
But, yeah, coming in decent with some Brazilian music. So Brazil in 11780. There was a documentary about COVID the other day on TV, and it all went sour when the lady narrating the documentary was in Brazil, and there was these little bottles going up a kind of a one of those lines where they were actually creating the vaccine. And the first thing she said is, "On these little bottles, written in Brazilian." And I'm like, "Shoo, you just, all of that you talked in the past 30 minutes is all now. I'm not sure what you're saying is right because you just said that it's written in Brazilian on that thing. It's Portuguese. Hello, really? You want me to take these seriously? A little research, please."
Well, I mean, that's where if depending on your friends, who should be your friends.
Yeah. So about the sake corner.
Yeah.
Shelley says,
I will be curled up in a corner after all those bottles.
Shelley says, "I think from now on I'll be saying before 2020 and after 2020. It's gonna be that year that's missing out of our brains. It's like, what, 2020? What was that?
It was the 2020.
Ricardo, nice to have you here from Portugal. Jerry X, Saturn looks cool through his 10-inch Dobsonian telescope. Absolutely. Canadian Radio TV guy, Big Dipper by Built to Spill is one of those songs that sound real good on shortwave, in my opinion. I'm one of those old guys that actually was listening to music on AM radio when I was young. So, oops. When I was young, all I wanted is to listen to my favorite songs. I didn't care if they were, on AM or FM. I didn't care about the quality of it. I just wanted to hear my favorite song, even if it was static over it. Anders Kyle, nice to have you here from Norway. William Helms in Florida, nice to have you on board. Gaetan Belil, I am always impressed to see people from all over the world here. I love that. It is impressive. And I mean, when I look at all the people that watch, I am totally surprised also of everybody here. And it's really cool to have an international audience, that's for sure. John Jensen, K9WXX. We will be doing shortwave listening digital with no antenna in 10 years. Oh, man. Vince Perrault, bonjour Vince, bienvenue. Toujours un plaisir de t'avoir parmi nous. Yeah, but is it out now, the PL398 MP? It's going to be an interesting one. So,
In the recent chat, Gaetan Belil saying, "I drink too much when I see Gilles." I replied, "And I drink too much when I'm with Gilles."
Man, I don't know why I get that tag on me every time. It's like, if you go out with Gilles, better,
Well, I mean, it's a family thing. I think.
In our case, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
my grandfather was an alcoholic. His father. We're not
alcoholic, but we enjoy drinking. We enjoy drinking.
But we can control ourselves. Like,
yeah.
We're gonna drink tonight and can just go the whole week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh yeah,
and go a month without drinking and not go crazy.
Absolutely.
We'll feel it, but we won't be like, "I need it. Fix it."
Yeah, no, I don't wake up in the morning and think I need alcohol. It's like I wake up in the morning, it's like I want to have my coffee.
Yeah, it's like I'm never gonna drink again, and then you go to prove to yourself.
Oh, that's
and then 2 days later you find out you lied to yourself.
Everybody that gets a bad hangover always say like, "Oh, we're not gonna drink again. I'm never gonna touch that." Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's your drunken self speaking.
You're drinking the same night.
That's your drunken self speaking.
Robert Prosper, remember the first Trio tubes came out and made my crystal set obsolete. Yeah, technology does advance. Absolutely. Pretty crazy, you know. RJD in Dakota. No, Moscow Nights is not. And that's the funniest part. The Moscow Nights song does not get me any copyright strikes, but the national anthem of the United States, sorry, of the Soviet Union, is actually giving me a copyright strike. It's just what? Oh, yeah. Man. Erica Charles says you should watch the James Bond movies in the order of release.
Here's what I'm doing. It's a little bit farther. Whether it's a series or video games, if there are multiples, I start with the origins. Then, yeah, if I think the origins suck, I'll go with like, okay, 30 years later, what it looks like. But usually, like even with Star Trek that I'm watching right now on Netflix, all the series are there.
Yeah.
I start with the beginning. If the series like crossover between seasons on the same year, I alternate between one season of each. But I want to do that because I don't miss any Easter eggs or reference.
Oh, there's something I got to talk to you about that you don't know what happened, but there's a popular video game that has had a amazing shortwave twist last week.
Oh.
We're going to talk about it because he likes to play games. Not that type of game that we're going to talk about in general, but still, he's kind of somewhat of a gamer.
Not online, but 20 hours a week.
So you're gonna have a kick on that one, okay? Even though it's not a game that you play. I'm just gonna say one thing: YouTube streaming James Bond's free for the United States only, by the way. And here in Canada, they're not available.
Can you use a VPN?
Unfortunately, yeah, with a VPN would probably work. Absolutely, it would probably work, like Netflix, you know.
I have a free VPN with my job.
So you could try that. What else we have?
So what's that game you were talking about?
So I'm just gonna. So you guys, of course, we were all in the. David says, "Estoy perfectamente. Gracias. Your Spanish rocks." I just wish I could speak more of it. You know, I always have that joke. I was working at a place once, and a guy comes up to me, and he comes from El Salvador. And in Spanish, he says, "¿Cómo está?" And I say, I look at him and I say, "Muy bien, ¿cómo está, mi amigo?" And he starts like this really long phrase in Spanish, which I have no idea. He looks at me and says, "You didn't understand a thing." I said, "No." He says, "Your answer was so good in pronunciation. I thought you actually spoke Spanish."
That is something like I had Spanish classes when I was in high school. Well, pretty crappy ones, but still. And I think, you know, it's something that when you're interested, at least in something, like I don't speak Spanish, but if I have classes, I will be interested in learning it. You make effort to speak it well.
Yeah. And with shortwave radio, you know, learning and understanding other languages is a big advantage because it opens up even more broadcasts you can listen to. So here's the thing. Martin, PE9TIG, nice to have you here. Pirate on 6930, we're talking about that. So you know the game Call of Duty.
Yes, of course.
So last week, we are tuning the band. Somebody comes back to me. I think it was MDK2. Matt says, "There's a weird intro signal on 17790 on shortwave."
Okay.
And I tune it, and I'm like, wow, I've never heard that before. And it goes on for hours. And we learned that it's WRMI in Florida that's broadcasting that. And then somebody comes back and says, well, they're saying there's going to be a special transmission tomorrow, Monday, but they can't say anything about it, except that it's going to be between this time and that time. So I tuned the next day, Monday. It's numbers being broadcast all the time.
Okay.
It has to do with the new Call of Duty game. There's an Easter egg that had shortwave in it.
Oh my God.
And those that were purchasing the package had a shortwave radio in the package with the game.
That's so cool.
Texan PL 880 with instructions on you need to tune this because there's a message there that you need that will unblock something in your game. And of course, there's a website that you go to. And if you go there, it's going to ask you, state your name or whatever. You just give a name. And it says, okay, what are the numbers? And if you enter the numbers you heard on the shortwave broadcast that lasted, it lasted from what, 14 to 17, it lasted 3 hours on shortwave. 3 hours of repeating numbers.
That is super cool. Had I known that, I'm 95% sure my brother would have bought the game because he plays Call of Duty. So I'm 95% sure he would have bought it just for
It was
the epicness.
I remember when we learned that it was linked to Call of Duty, and I was like, wow, they went all the way to rent transmitter time on WRMI and broadcast these numbers. So they were on 2 frequencies. But the funniest part is when you go to the blog post of Call of Duty, half of them had no idea how to operate the radio to listen to it. And people were tuning at any frequency out of whatever they were saying. But it was like, this is so cool. Somebody had this crazy idea that you are going to use shortwave for a Easter egg in Call of Duty game. It's just crazy. So, it's funny. I thought it's great. Call of Duty games do a lot of very accurate recreations of old, of war moments, of missions from the past and so on. I played Call of Duty quite a few times. I thought that was so amazing that they would actually have that shortwave radio side. And it baffled all of us because we were all like, what is this interval signal that nobody knows about, and where does it come from, and what is it?
Spy North Korean numbers.
It was Bosnian. The numbers were actually in English and Bosnian.
So I'm guessing Call of Duty happened
And
in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
That's something like that.
I said it well.
So that was amazing, and I wanted to tell you because even if you're not a Call of Duty fan, I thought, he's gonna get a good kick out of the idea.
That's something. It's like that is so cool. Like, yeah, my brother probably would have bought it, or maybe I would have. And just
actually, you know what? I didn't even think about it. I should have sent you a message, say, hey, tune 17790. Let you listen to it because it was strong enough you would have heard it easily here. And then say it's a Call of Duty Easter egg. And you would have said, what? You would have been like, what?
I would have been what? I would have been like,
cool. That was crazy.
I would have been like, what? And I want to hear that.
That was crazy. I mean, oh man. I never thought in my life, if somebody would tell me, oh yeah, there's going to be a video game that's going to feature shortwave. I would have thought, what? What do you mean?
Nothing. In what year?
And especially that the packages would include a shortwave radio to listen to it. I mean, wow. Joseph says, yeah, a lot of AM going low end, but there's a few gems here, WBZ, WABC, WCBS. I like WCBS 880 actually. Their way of doing the news reel every hour. This is what I miss and I would like in Montreal. As you know, when 690 and 940 came on the air and in Montreal, they were supposed to have news, 24-hour news. That's what WCBS is doing. That's what I would have enjoyed. You listen to it for 20 minutes. You have the essential of what's happening, what's the news, and it's done in a style that's going fast and like in 20 minutes, everything's happening, the traffic, all of it.
We've hit the 2-hour marks.
Hey, look, I have the impression we just started, so it's just crazy.
I was saying when you arrived here, like it's one of those days where I was supposed to be 1 hour early on everything and ended up 10 minutes late.
That's my life.
And out here, I was in a non-energy mood, and like some Japanese anime music was playing on my TV. And it's like, now I'm in it.
Remember that was also sometimes when we do so we did, for those that don't know, we did a live show called From the Couch.
We were usually in the same mood all the time. That's weird.
And it happened very often that we like sat down doing like From the Couch, like not really, that feeling like doing From the Couch. But as we started and get into it, it kind of drives and gives the energy.
I think if I can talk about that time 4 years ago, actually 3.5 years ago, it's I think it was my kind of first experience with all that YouTube stuff, and I'm pretty glad that I got that because it did open my eyes to other stuff, which is part of the reason I got my current job. And when they say just be yourself when you do that stuff, I don't think I think it's more of a don't try to be someone you're not, than be yourself.
Yeah.
And it's something that I figured out as the weeks went by, and even doing those Formula One videos for the last 6 months or so. And
I look back at when I did my first, and I tell everybody, is like when I did my first live show. I mean, I wet my pants. It was almost like you're just so stressed out that
too much detail.
It's much detail. But it's something. I remember the first From the Couch. You were nervous.
Yeah.
You were nervous, but that's normal. There are people going to watch, and
it's just I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have any experience with
that.
And
also,
I was still stupid.
It's not stupid. It's like you just weren't there yet.
And you learn from it. And today it's like you got here, and I knew that it's the radio show. I'm not a newbie, but I'm not a veteran either. I'm the in between neophyte.
Absolutely.
So it's like let's just go with the flow and.
Oh yeah, just go.
That's it.
Anyways, I'm a big man, so I just talk all the time.
Don't try to.
Oh no! Don't try to impress.
Don't
just be yourself, and you jump in when you know what when you know the conversation.
I'm making friends on the chat. That's cool.
Yeah.
And remember, we're not paid by Red Bull to have a Red Bull.
Really not.
Red Bull.
Really
if Red Bull wants to sponsor us, we will say Red Bull for Red Bull.
I should be sponsored by some beer channels now, or a lot more stuff like that.
Instead of saying Red Bull, we should say Black Cat.
Black Cat. Robert Prosper says, when will we get some software on an SDR that will bring the encryption of cell communications? We will not, because because of two things. First, it's proprietary code. So yes, there are people out there that have the knowledge and already have what it takes to do it. But it's illegal to actually use that code for cell encryption, The other thing is, it's like here in Canada. The rules of radio broadcasting in Canada say that you can decrypt encryption of what is, what they do let us actually decrypt. If they give us the permission, it's fine. But any encryption, so that means cell communication, for example, that is used and is not supposed to be decoded by the average population is not permitted. So it's illegal to listen to cell communications in Canada if you have what it takes to decrypt. You are now illegally listening in. So that's the side of encryption here. So it's not that it doesn't exist, because I've seen proof of concept of guys with a laptop using, like, everything they need and being able to absolutely snoop in and listen in on conversations on the cell communications of today. But it's illegal to do so. So no one will want to send that because they're going to be blocked or sued, or it's just impossible. Scott Grenson, nice to have you here from Massachusetts.
But I said we pass it to our marks, and since we finished our second bottle, it means we have the usual 3 beers-ish.
So we're at 3 beers-ish.
So time to open another one?
Why not?
Do we go for another small one or a big one of the big ones?
I'll let you choose. Okay. Go get inspired by looking at them in the fridge.
I mean, I have the picture of all of them here.
He's going to want to inspire himself.
So we have 2 small and 3 bigs left. I don't feel like the cheapest Hakutsuru one, because it's the one we always taste and I use for cooking because it's cheap. So what do you say about the big pink bottle one?
Perfect.
So we're going to go, and I'm not going to bring the whole bottle here because it's a big one, but
it's hopefully going to help me.
The large pink bottle, third from the left, whatever we can see.
The pink bottle is on the, I'm all screwed up about what's left and right anyways.
Is what we're going to drink. And more sake because we're not drunk enough.
We're not drunk enough. I'm going to barf on my new computer.
There's a Christmas tree over there.
I like Roger Moore a lot as a James Bond.
Oh, you've caught up to the 20 minutes ago comments.
Yes. Well, I'll be catching up a little more now. Robert Prosper occasionally like to build a crystal set, but never get more than one station. Man. So it's not this evening, Robert Prosper, for Jupiter and Saturn. It's Monday, 21st. And that's where we're going to be the closest, on Monday, the 21st. Keegan, first day of E-Skip on FM, June 1st, 2013. Man. Matt, MDK2 AM radio was where top 40 was in the 70s. Casey Kasem. CKGM, that is 690 Sports right now. Those call letters were on 980 kilohertz here in Montreal. And Sunday was Casey Kasem with his very unique voice. You could hear Casey Kasem, and you knew that he was him. But I so remember Casey Kasem's top 40. Man, Gaetan Belil drinks too much when I see show. Crazy. Mickey Dalmich, nice to have you here. I am sure it was a Duran Duran song on AM. Possibly. Who never knows? SoCal says, when I lived in Northern Ontario, the line outside the beer store was very long on Friday payday. Oh, man. Robert Prosper, united forever in friendship and labor, our mighty republics will ever endure. The great Soviet Union will live through ages, the dream of people, their fortress secure. You know, they try to lift up the spirits. Man. Canadian Radio TV guy, farthest AMDX is TSN Radio 690 of Montreal from in Alberta, Canada. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And I am back. So I don't have the usual bottle because it's a large one. So I wanted to keep it cool with the pot that came with my sake set. But this next sake is the Hakushika Yamada Nishiki Hamayagi Honjozo sake.
Okay.
Yeah, this one I had a tough time to read. So I will fill our glass while the website's loading.
To answer you, Robert Prosper, I do not find Amazon Prime's video offer very good.
No, it's not that great.
The only reason I have it is because I purchased so much crap off of Amazon that it now, with the free shipping and everything,
You save on shipping compared to the regular shipping.
that's the thing. So might as well keep it because I save money. And you know, it gives me that. Oh, look, I watched that show with the Lincolnshire Poacher. I mean, it was okay. I don't see a lot of stuff on Prime that I find, you know, I find Prime deceiving in a way also because, you know, on Netflix, what you have is what you have. It's included, it's there, and that's fine. On Amazon Prime, you gotta watch your steps because you go through the menus and you see a movie and it's like, oh, this one isn't included. You got to pay extra.
What I don't like is I don't know if it's the same for you, but on my smart TV, I watch something on Prime, I still get ads.
You get ads.
Yes.
Oh, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
come on.
They are doing ads on their own shows. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I pay for that crap.
Yeah, I understand. It's like, you know, if one thing that I like in the movies, and you know, I'm a sucker for that. People don't understand. Some people don't understand. When I go to the movies, people tell me, oh, well, you know, the movie is going to start only 15 minutes after the whatever time because there's all these ads and stuff. And I always tell them, I want to see the upcoming movies. I find that it's part of the fun experience of the movies to know what's coming up soon.
Same for me, because I so don't know what movies are coming up to begin with. That's like, oh, that is coming up. That's going to be cool.
I am a sucker for that. And when people tell me, oh, like, you know, even if we get 10 minutes late, it's like, no, it gets me mad. I want to see the upcoming events, the upcoming movies later.
So this new sake, the Hakushika Yamada Nishiki Honjozo sake, in case you didn't know, is made with the king of premium sake rice.
Oh.
The Yamada Nishiki, locally produced in the Hyogo prefecture. This sake is brewed by a special technique passed down through the generations of specially trained toji from the Tanba region. And luxurious body with a smooth finish. Honjozo Yamada Nishiki is refreshingly elegant. Don't you think?
It's very unique in its taste.
It smells like sake. The smell doesn't have anything special.
It has a very unique taste to it.
But yes, I agree. It's not the same as what we've drank so far. That was fruity.
But it's good.
And more like this sort of sake. This one is different. This bottle, by the way, in Canadian dollar for 700 milliliters. So double what we had before, $21.
No, it's not that bad.
It's on the cheap side.
Yeah.
For a large bottle.
Matt, talking of the Call of Duty broadcast, says those guys on YouTube didn't even know to extend the antennas on their PL880s. Come on. You give these Call of Duty gamers a shortwave radio, they have no idea what to do with that little box.
Nope.
Not whatsoever.
But had I known that this was a feature of, I guess it was like the collector's edition or something.
Yeah, it's a special edition.
Had we both known,
Well, if I knew
I
in
think
advance,
you would have paid 50-50 for that.
if I known in advance, I might have like, oh, you're gonna get a
I would have
80
texted
hours.
you 50-50. You keep.
That's kind of cool.
I would have texted you 50-50, and you can keep everything because I don't play Call of Duty.
That's like kind of really, really nice.
I would have even lent you my PlayStation or Xbox, whatever.
So where was I? We're at 5:15. I'm a little too far back here.
Nino is enjoying himself, I believe, on the chats with us. My new Formula One friend, my new Saki friend, my new James Bond friend. I should be here more often.
Martin, yeah, Biru, the Japanese.
Or I've been on the chat quite a few times this summer, and every time it was a moment where it was like the happy hour from the virtual happy hour at the job finished too early, and was like, I want a reason to drink more tonight. Like, watching Gilles is a good reason to drink more.
People watch me, they need to drink. It's the only way that they can actually listen to the show. Game Radio TV guy says, I actually think that was a pretty brilliant marketing gig by Call of Duty. It was actually a good way to get people into shortwave and actually tune in the broadcast and hear what it sounds like. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Walrus, anybody ordered an MLA30 off Amazon? The ones I've seen on Amazon are way too expensive compared to buying it on eBay.
Everything on Amazon is expensive compared to general stuff.
K6YYL, Kimberly, nice to have you here from California. Rufus Newt from the Laurentian Valley, Ontario. Just look at the price, Walrus, because where I buy it, and it's still that price, I purchased it for $44 US, shipping included.
Oh.
So
reasonable.
Does it come to $44 US, shipping included? Then buy it off Amazon. There's one advantage. You'll get the Amazon security, meaning if it has a problem or anything, you just go back on Amazon and say, this thing is crap, and you just return it, and there's no hassle. And that, of course, compared to an eBay buy, where it's like, yeah, so my antenna has a problem. What can I do? It gets complicated.
It's funny, the other day, I got a message from Amazon, but I asked too many times for a refund in a short period. And you want to know why? Because up to last March,
yeah,
I would usually get package delivered to my job because I'm not home. So deliver it at my job, I'm there. And it's a building with the street address and then an apartment or an office number.
Office number.
And when you type it on Google, it gives it to you one way, but it's not the right way. The two numbers have to be shifted for it to be the right way. So I believe 4 times in a row, Amazon or whatever it was with Canada Post did not deliver the package in the right place. So I never got it. So like 4 times in 3 months, I'm like, well, it says delivered, didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then Amazon did send you a message like, you've asked for a refund quite a few times recently. It's like, well, yeah.
Well, I didn't get it.
But after that, I did go to the Canada Post website, because even here at my apartment, until recently, I often got like concert tickets and stuff stolen that never got here.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I wrote like this, 3-page long message complaint to Canada Post. Put your freaking crap together, or I'm giving my money to other companies.
I had a experience with Canada Post, I was a little pissed off. So when I ordered my gaming laptop on Amazon, because it was a good deal, they said in the return, okay, you have to be home when it's delivered because you'll need to sign. It was really, it was mentioned signature required for this package.
Fair.
And I am home and the doorbell rings and I'm thinking the guy's waiting for me for the package and I have to sign for it. The freaking laptop was not even inside. It was outside on the door and the guy was gone. And I thought, am I really seeing a $1,500 laptop left outside? And they said I would need to sign for it and I didn't. It's like, this is unacceptable. And I sent them a message saying, look, Amazon told me there's a signature required. I totally understand it's COVID, but you left a $1,500 laptop outside.
Mm-hmm.
Please, this is unacceptable. And actually, there was a article, not an article, there was a TV show. They had a lawyer there talking about package theft.
Mm-hmm.
And the lawyer said, there's no excuse of anybody that if they leave the package there because you're not home, for example, it's because they are too cheap to want to pay whatever service that you'll pick it up somewhere instead. And they are responsible for that package not being delivered because they got it stolen. And you can ask for a refund and they cannot say no because of the fact that you didn't get it.
I mean, here, well, not here, when I was with my parents on the same street, few times, Grand Prix tickets, Formula 1 Grand Prix tickets, not coming here. Credit cards, not getting there. But, and you know, it felt like, okay, something's is wrong in the chain coming here.
Somebody's stealing somewhere, yeah.
And yeah, I did write like a 3-page message. Did not have any trouble since, but I made it, you know, when you say, okay, if you cannot put your crap together, I'll give my money to some other shipping company. Like, okay,
you know, like
money.
It's crazy, you know. What I had as a problem where I live is that for some reason, everybody that delivered stuff, instead of delivering it to the 9th Avenue where I live, they were delivering it to the exact same address, an apartment, but on the 8th Avenue.
Here, it's the 43, it was the 4355 when I was with my parents. They would always, not always, but very often go 4355. I believe the guy
like
from 2 blocks away rang to our door like 5 times.
When it's so funny because when I pick up my, when I get good food boxes,
mm-hmm.
on the sticker on the box, there's a big print that says, make sure you have delivered to 9th Avenue, not 8th Avenue.
Oh, gosh. Did you complain to good food?
Yes.
Well, I mean, to some extent, it's like, you know, you give your money. I understand sometimes we choose free shipping, and with free shipping comes potential risk of cheap companies.
Maxi76, Paul the Cat has invited all his cat friends over.
But still, it's like, okay, if free shipping cannot do the job, you complain and say, I'm going to use paid shipping and have the stuff delivered properly.
Yeah.
You complain where it will hurt for them on the money side. This is becoming the renting.
The renting of delivery.
But you know that's funny because you once said before. Sorry, I'm going on completely another subject, but that maybe someday you'd want to try and kind of an anything goes show. And there's a podcast / YouTube podcast that I watch where the guys, there are 3 guys. They come up with a subject to start the discussion, but it is literally anything goes. And, you know, I cannot say stuff they talk about because, yeah, it would be 18 plus. But it's just like, let's just not care and have fun. And you know
official Sake channel.
And you know what? that podcast, their
Yeah.
treatise,
Yeah.
has more views than all of their own channels.
You know, look at AM radio or radio in general on local broadcasts. What is popular is all these guys that rant about everyday life crap that happens. People, you know, they want to have a voice. I understand why these shows are popular because people want to have a voice because everybody had a crappy experience of something. And that crappy experience of something, they want to share it with everybody else. So that's why these shows are popular because people not only feel good about the fact that they're not alone in whatever crap's happening, they can talk about it also on some of these shows or mention it, you know. Denny, now it's time to buy World Radio TV Handbook 2021. Drink lots of sake and go through the 672 pages. One of the problems, don't forget, guys, because I still can't believe that if you go on WRTH.com, click on their buy now page, that it's unsecured. I can't believe that is unacceptable. WF7I Homebrew, nice to have you on board.
I just noticed that because I refreshed my YouTube, I'm now logged in as the F1 corner instead of
Oh, look at that. Who's that guy? Where's the Proud Geek suddenly?
I'm gonna switch back because I refreshed. Oh my god. Okay, 63.
Have you had more subscribers now?
+3, yeah.
+3.
And +1, the Proud Geek, but I don't know if it's from here. Okay.
So Bill Curry says NEUP says got my MLA 30 plus $49.98 shipped off of Amazon. Well, that's not a bad price actually, you know. And you have we'll give that extra, even if it would be $10 more. That extra $10 is the security of, well, if there's something wrong on Amazon, it's not complicated to return something, basically. Kuverto, nice to have you on board from Kyiv in the Ukraine. Nice to have you here, my friend. Hey, I'm almost reached down the list now. Matt says, you know what's going on with that laptop being left? The delivery people are probably under severe delivery deadlines. They probably don't have it balanced with the need for package security. Yeah, but still, I mean, come on. It's crazy. It's, I can't accept that you leave such an expensive package that it's clearly mentioned needs, if you can't deliver it properly, send it to the post office where I'm going to go pick it up myself at least. At least it's going to be safe. I mean, you can't leave a $1,500 laptop in front of the door. I cannot accept that, you know. James Johnson says, reminds me of Mrs. Doubtfire when she drinks those, she forgets who he is, yeah. Oh man, whoops. I clicked on something.
You did.
You never want to hear oops on a live show with a computer. Oh man, the Refus Snoot Canon Post shows me in a different location. Every other company has it, right? Yeah, it's one of those things sometimes that you're like, wow. Yeah.
Oh, you've reached the bottom of the.
I've reached. Canadian Radio TV guy found a website especially promoting Spectres of Shortwave, Amanda Don Christie, if I remember correctly. Offering a DVD version purchase of the film. I don't think it was very cheap. Not sure. I have to search the link again. I'll ask Amanda directly here, because no, I get the drift of Matt. I didn't get. I understand what you were saying. I was not saying that with your comment or anything. It's just that it's crazy that nobody would have It needs a signature. Come on, it's an expensive. If you deliver my $5 thingy and it gets stolen, I don't care. It's $5.
Like for $5, you take the risk. You know it's gonna happen.
Like right now, I have a package waiting for me, and it's down. And it's like, yeah, it's a pack of rechargeable batteries. If I don't get it, who
Just
cares?
go to the grocery store and buy more.
Who cares? Nino Sabat, Joe, just curious, were you into 11-meter CB back in the 80s, or were you more into shortwave? I was both. In the 80s, I had my CB base station. And so I was into CB quite a lot, actually. I enjoyed talking with my friends. I had a few friends that had also CBs, and that was a fun part of my teenage years. But I was in shortwave also. Both were together, and actually it was funny because I would ask some of my friends or some of the people I knew that had shortwave radios. I would tell them, oh, tune to 27255 on your shortwave radio, and I would key up and talk and say how high the Hess meter am I making it, and so on. And I remember when I had a lot of walkie-talkies for a while, and I remember when I had my first CB, it was more powerful, and I had an outdoor antenna, and man, it was amazing because I would key up and it was like, hey, you're S8, this is amazing. How did you do that? Oh man. And says, I wonder if those guys just take the chance and if they get away with it a lot, since a lot of people are at home. I like the Facebook share that everybody has. If you have unwanted crap in your home, put them in Amazon boxes and put them outside your home. They're gonna get stolen.
that podcast I listened to, I talked about. One of the guys said, he was living in a dorm when he was at the university in the UK, and it was like the cheap dorm. And one time the guy said, I remember coming to the dorm like on Christmas Eve, and there was literally a turd under the tree. It was a human one.
Okay.
It's like, you're like, is it a toy? You poke it with a stick and it sinks. Like, oh, ships. Oh. It's like, I left it there and I went to sleep.
That Cyberpunk got removed because there's too many bugs in it.
Yes, it's.
How can you? I mean, okay. I'll rent another one.
Duke him forever?
Microsoft did the same thing with Flight Simulator. When it came out, everybody just like, hey, it's always crashing. But anyways, they want to put these games out so fast.
How does the robot in Portal say it? When you're out of beta, you're releasing on time?
It's just, they want to release them so fast that it just ends up tons of bugs in them. And yeah. Robert Osborne, 9395, WRMI, nice clear signal. Yeah, at this time, usually they have their music. The other day, I'm not hearing it. It's winter propagation. Eh? The other day, I was hearing 9395, and it's so funny because it was Karma Chameleon by Boy George, Culture Club. And they had a problem with the switching of songs. So for 1 hour, Karma Chameleon played over and over and over again until the next show started. And I was like, oops, I think they had a little computer glitch there with the songs. And one other night, I was listening to WRMI on another frequency. Every song was played twice. So if you hear the song, you knew it would start again, and then it would go on to the next song. And I was like, how can this happen? It's so weird.
It's super cool with my my device, which I won't name, that starts with an A.
That weird device that you have.
Yeah, don't name because something weird happens all the time. There's skills to go to just anime song radio.
Okay.
Like 25,000 random songs of anime music.
Oh man, yeah, that's your thing.
You should see me when I work in my office.
There's one thing I like talking about music, about the YouTube Music app. When I got my phone, I subscribed to Google Play Music to have access to pretty much everything I wanted. And that service shut down and they moved us to YouTube Music. There's one thing that I like about it, and it's that it is better at understanding what I want to listen to when it shuffles after what I chose.
The one that I felt sucked when it got out was the Google Play Music, just because my whole playlist of songs that are legitimate and not legitimate from 20 years ago, but that I still have, was on there. So it's like, okay, now I have to switch to YouTube Music, but because I don't pay, it's total crap, and I downloaded VLC instead.
Yeah.
And I find that VLC is so much better than Google Play Music.
Well, it's different. It's a different thing.
I hear songs from my shuffle list was the song that I was still on in my previous shuffle. Always.
When I was using, oh man, what was the name of that app? One of the Microsoft apps, anyways. That
Minesweeper.
That was released with Windows 10
Movie Maker
in 2015.
Solitaire.
What was so it would play. I would put all my, so on my OneDrive I've got like 5,000 songs or something, and it could stream the songs I had on OneDrive when I would do stuff with my phone and go somewhere else. But after a couple of weeks, I was like, I got 5,000 songs, but it plays 175 of them, and the rest never gets any playtime.
That's what I felt with Google Play Music for some time. It's like there's
some kind of glitch.
I've had my Android for almost 2 years now, and there are some songs I genuinely never heard. And like I go through my playlist, I'm like, oh, I haven't heard. And like when you just skip, it still never comes on.
Tom the Youngster, have a Merry Christmas. Take care, my friends. Hey, you guys, have you some special Christmas gift, radio-related Christmas gift you're gonna get? Because I saw in the Shortwave group a couple of people posting, like one was posting a SDR that was in the Christmas tree next to the decoration. It was like, oh, Santa came. And so anybody has anything radio related for Christmas this year? Just share this with us.
I would like to know, it is Christmas. It is time to share with people. Are there some questions they would like to ask us, like without going too personal, that you've never really asked in the chat before? Stuff that you feel like, I want to know that thing about.
Yes, it's a fake beer. Oh no, look at that. It doesn't come off.
So, any kind of unusual question that is not over.
Who are you? That's like the first question. Who are you? I've been watching this for 3 years. I still don't know who you are.
Isn't this kitchen TV?
Yes, we are going to cook sushis tonight. Actually, it's already made.
Actually, since I've been here, I actually buy the sushi rice from Maxi.
Oh,
because it's sticky rice.
Yeah.
So I prefer that to the whatever.
Yeah, that's what you need. You need sticky
No, but
rice.
not even for sushi, just to eat in general. It's like I like my rice when it's kind of sticky.
It's like if I do, this has become the cooking show now. If I do a standard white rice, I will always use jasmine flavored rice because it tastes exactly what they give you at the Chinese restaurant.
Where do you buy it?
I buy it. Actually, it's the jasmine rice. You can buy it at any. Even they have it here. They have bags. What's that company name that
Uncle
sells?
Ben?
No, there's another one that's also very popular with rice, and they have even flavored rices.
Okay.
Anyways, if you look, you'll see jasmine rice. Both. They should both have that.
Kim Fat.
That tastes because that's exactly what you have when you have a white rice in the Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
It tastes exactly like that.
Okay.
If that's the flavor you're looking for in white rice, you buy that and you just cook that. It tastes like the Chinese restaurant rice. And that's why I buy that one, because when I want to have that taste, that's exactly what it is.
Okay. Cool.
So that's cooking with chill and yeah.
I mean, it's better than crab dinner.
Yeah.
And,
well, from time to time I do actually.
When I went to Australia, there was no proper craft dinner like we have here, but there was this same box, same font, everything, and it was called Easy Mac and Cheese.
Yeah, they do.
At 7-Eleven in Australia.
They adapt the products.
Yeah. There was some IGA.
Wow.
It was more like a sandwich counter thing, but there was IGA in Australia. Same, everything the same, but it was more of a sandwich counter.
Welcome back, Chess Tank. KW1171 KTAR FM is hard to get in QTH, a couple of stations in Tucson.
And it's funny because it's cold nowadays. I do remember because for those who are interested, I went to, especially the Formula One fans, I went to the Australian Grand Prix in 2019 because it was my birthday and it's the first race of the season. So it's like, all right, kill two birds with one stone. I came back here, and it was March, and after spending 2 weeks at 35 degrees under the sun, I got out the plane in Toronto, and the first thing I thought when you go between the plane and the airport, like, shit, that's cold. It's the first thing I thought, going from plus 35 to -7.
I remember a friend of mine, the same friend I talked about earlier that came from El Salvador when I was working back then. I remember he was telling me that when he came to Canada, it was January. And he was all excited because for the first time in his life, he had seen snow for real. And he said that the first thing he did was started running and put his hands in the snow. And my question was, so what do you think of it? He said, it's cold. It was like, yeah, it's cold. That's pretty much it. But he was like all excited because the only snow he ever seen was, shows on TV, because it doesn't snow in El Salvador in general.
Really?
So he was like all excited because first time he had his real experience with snow. And it was like, it was funny it's one of those things you don't think about, but it was funny to have that. Yeah, Eric, the basmati rice, I actually buy some of that from time to time. It has a very unique taste also. Nino Savat, here's a question I've pondered for the past few years. What do you think is the future of shortwave 5-10 years down the road as internet becomes ever more pervasive? I will say one thing about that is that and I do continue thinking about that. The internet has it's not what's actually making shortwave go away. I get that all the time. The internet is killing shortwave. It's not. We go back in time. In the 80s, when I was listening to shortwave, broadcasters were slowly going away, were slowly fading off. What kills shortwave is a lot of different things at the same time. What made shortwave is the Cold War was the big driver of shortwave. Because the Cold War is everybody wanted to have a voice. Everybody needed to say something. Every country around the world wanted everybody else to know who they were. And there were clashing ideologies. And that was driving shortwave because it was the way that you could express yourself to the world. It was a way to say what you think with a fairly good possibility you'll still make it in countries where where the shortwave signal is going there, and even they're trying to block it with all sorts of jamming. The internet isn't going in countries that are blocking it. A great example: nobody in China sees this. YouTube does not exist in China. They have their own YouTube for the Chinese market. They have their own YouTube. YouTube, everything that's done here and all the videos is not available in China. The internet, if you block the internet in a country or block part of it, it is something that there's no, you can use a VPN, but in China, even VPNs have to be approved by the Communist Party in order for them being used, which is kind of, so you got to approve a VPN. That means that the VPN blocks stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Shortwave isn't, it can be jammed, and China jams a lot. The biggest jammer in the world right now is China with their fire drinks, with their CNR1. A channel that they actually put over the same frequencies of others.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that isn't as efficient because a lot of the signal goes through. In the 80s, I still remember that stations like HCJB in Quito, Ecuador, for example, would say that they would get mail from the USSR, even though their broadcasts were technically jammed, because jamming is inefficient on shortwave. Maybe one day you won't hear the signal because it's jammed, but the next day the shifting propagation means that maybe the jammer is not there, but the signal from that station is there. So you at least get part of the information. And the internet is not and isn't at all the reason why shortwave is shifting. And I don't use the word dying. I don't use the word, of shortwave going away. There's still a lot to listen to, and shortwave is still a pretty good medium for information. It's going to, of course, change because big broadcasters, what are they doing? Where are they going? They're shifting their broadcast to Africa or Middle East or Asia. Why? They're shifting that where there's still a lot of people listening to the radio, first of all. They're shifting that where free speech is a difficult thing to achieve. So the BBC World Service, for example, is trying to, minister does something, we eventually know about it.
Blackface.
We still got screwed. But we know about it. In Africa, they do everything to make sure that you don't know what's happening.
That is why I like listening to the BBC, even though people from the UK will see the BBC is owned by the state, whatever, and prefer to listen to Canada news and vice versa. But I think it's just the idea in general here is that we all want a different perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
And the BBC, how many times, like on the International Radio Report show, we talked about how governments in Africa are openly stating that the BBC is lying. Yeah, the BBC is lying because their BBC is actually telling their own citizens exactly what is happening in real time and in the real world in their own countries. So shortwave will be here in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, because there will be that need of broadcasters um, sending out information. Look at an example of how shortwave is important. First, why does China spend billions of dollars jamming right now? That means shortwave has some importance because you're spending billions of dollars to make sure that the stations don't get to your population, first of all. The other thing is, look at all the clandestine stations that are popping up with broadcast over different broadcasters.
Is there any like shortwave from North Korea? Like the kind of stuff that guy would disappear from the face of the earth.
So, first of all, North Korea has Voice of Korea.
Yeah.
And it's based on broadcasts that give us some fantastic news of the dear leader, Kim Jong-un.
It's our new god.
And they have also a couple of stations.
Well, I mean, like,
but
illegit stuff that guy would get into prison or worse.
In North Korea, the way it works right now with radio in general, and so North Koreans get a radio receiver that is blocked to state frequencies. We know that a lot of North Koreans open up the radio and tweak it so that the block is removed and that they can tune other things. Mm-hmm. But there's a fantastic documentary that I've seen. It was from National Geographic. Mm-hmm. They actually followed a bunch of smugglers, and they smuggled radios into North Korea. Ooh. They were crossing the Chinese, there's that river from China to North Korea, which is where everybody crosses because it's the easiest way to get into there. So they cross a river, and they were showing how they were smuggling radio receivers. They were showing a guy that he actually tweaked the radio to listen to broadcasts from foreign countries on shortwave. His neighbor knew about it. He called the cops. Oh. And all of his family disappeared mysteriously.
Of course.
I mean, it's not even just a small punishment. It's not just like you shouldn't do that and here's a 1,000 whatever is their currency fine. It was clearly, we just kidnapped all of your family and they're in these hard labor camps now. That's the punishment for you listening to foreign broadcasts. Mm-hmm. And that's where the power of shortwave is important, because shortwave is capable of crossing the different barriers of these countries. There's no barrier. The signal just goes on, and that's why I still think 50 years from now we're going to have shortwave signals.
For how long has the ambulance been there?
Yeah, it's really long. It's weird.
Just notice it's been there still.
They're taking their breaks.
So James Johnson saying, I missed so much of this show tonight. Been shuffling, preparing for first of year move. Dude, I so understand you, because a year ago I just got this apartment, and my parents living in the same street. I got the luxury of staying at my parents' place and doing all the work that had to be done here. At this same date last year, I got the apartment on the 1st of December. I was plastering, sanding, and painting, I believe, on December 19th. We might have just finished painting the ceiling, maybe one of the room. And I had been working nonstop since December 1st, full-time job during the week, at night doing stuff here, and on the weekend doing stuff here. I was so not into Christmas last year. Just so not into Christmas.
Greg KF0CUZ, nice to have you on board. What else do we have?
Yeah, we're about to reach the 3-hour marks.
Danny says that during the Cold War we had Joe Adamov on Radio Moscow, the greatest propaganda voice who was responding to our emails. Yeah, and his way of answering our letters and the way it was done, he had a way of really trying to convince us of what was said. I will say it again, honestly. My Cold War moments of the 70s and 80s. I mean, the 80s was one part of the really tough Cold War moments before the Soviet Union actually disappeared and it became Russia. Radio Moscow, whether you like it or not, the way that they gave out their propaganda, I know that for me, it partly kind of helped ease the tension a little bit because it almost was like, well, there's people out there that are like me. They're just in a different country and a different ideology. And it's crazy, but everybody was giving their own propaganda thing, that's for sure. Donald Hosmer, nice to have you here. Oh yeah, the jamming by the USSR was intense, very intense. So trying to thank all the shortwave radio transceivers sent out, occupied Europe and Philippines, especially by the Allies during World War II, helped out shortwaves. All of that is a radio booster. I mean, if there would be a world conflict today, I can bet you that a lot of shortwave broadcasts would come back in a different form than it was in the past, but a lot of stuff would pop up. I always say one of the things that makes me a little, kind of think about it a little is there are many European countries that left shortwave, but have you noticed many of them have not destroyed their shortwave transmitter site? It's in a state of dormance. It's in a state of, it's almost like let's just keep that in case we need it. As if somebody somewhere said, yeah, let's not destroy our shortwave transmitters yet. Donald Hosmer says, shortwave will get through jamming better than internet. When visiting Russia last year, I couldn't reach several websites due to Russian government censors. Yeah, because, I mean, everything's blocked. Is there shortwave radio commercials? Well, there are commercial stations, WRMI, WWCR, WTWW. They are all commercial radio stations. They are not funded technically. WBCQ, although we have that, I personally have that theory about the mysterious $10 million transmitter of WBCQ from a guy that doesn't have any money, that lives in a bus or something like that on his own land. I still have that idea that, maybe U.S. government is behind that. But, we don't have proof. And I know everybody's going to like, you're crazy. Yeah, but what's a better way of just maintaining shortwave from a specific place in the world?
No, you are crazy.
I am crazy, I know. By the way, you want to buy your ticket?
For?
The Flat Earthers are actually doing an expedition to Antarctica to go to the edge of the world. You want to go there? We're going to go together. We're going to go to the edge of the world.
I mean,
I want to be the official reporter on WBCQ's Flat Earth program. and talk about how we are approaching the end, the edge of the world.
I mean, if someone paid for it, I would like to go to Antarctica just for seeing it. The edge of the Earth. I mean, why is it that I think it's on at the? Oh, I'm gonna continue on that. At the one of the Joe Rogan's podcast, the guy from Jackass that went to like an F-18 said he filmed and saw the curvature of the Earth. It's like, I have it on my phone.
Well, that's possible.
But I was disappointed in you this year.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that Joe Rogan gets bought by Spotify for $100 million and you don't?
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Because I say what I think.
I mean, for $100 million, stop saying what you think.
Right. Maybe the radio companies would actually want me to test their radios for free if I just stop saying that they're crappy.
I mean,
best question I had once in the. Sorry, I'm eating chocolate.
There's plenty of chocolate.
No. It's impossible not to at least take one. So one of the questions I had this year was why aren't radio companies sponsoring your show? Because I got pretty much every radio company. I probably have a video where I rant at one of their crappiest radios. So they don't want to sponsor because they're just all gonna say one thing. They're gonna say that guy, if he doesn't like our product, he's gonna just like crap it out really bad. And nobody wants to be with somebody like that. And you know what? All I can say is I'm extremely proud to not have any sponsorship because I say what I think. And that radio is crap. I'll just say it's crap because what happens here is you guys buy it. If I say it's good, there's somebody on the channel who's going to say, hey, I bought it because I saw your review. If I say it's crap, I don't know how many videos of a crappy radio I've talked about, and I get comments like, thank you so much, man. I was about to buy it, but now I know that I got to stay away from that radio because of what I say. And you know what? I'd rather be poor and live in a sewer and say that a radio's crap than be rich. Of course, what is there to be rich? Come on, millions of dollars. Who cares?
You know, for millions of dollars, I will say that your product is great anytime. If I can retire tomorrow morning.
Hey, Icom, give me $1 million and I'll say that the Icom ICR30 that I've been crapping out all the time is the amazing portable.
If I retire tomorrow morning, I'll say that any product is great. And
so you sell your soul, I don't. Now we know. Now we know.
Yep, I sell my soul to the guys who pays me the most. And tonight, I guess it's you, even if it's only that much.
Oh, God. Retro Man, nice to have you here, my friend. Nino Savet says, smuggling radios into North Korea. That's really fascinating. It says a lot about the tech. Yeah, and it was interesting because it was a 1 hour documentary. They so of course, they were smuggling all sorts of other things with radios, but one of the things they were concentrating on is the radio smuggled. And it was like really, cheap Chinese. You know, when we say, I get asked that question all the time is, if shortwave's dead, how come there's so many cheap Chinese portables? Well, they had like tons and tons of cheap Chinese portables that they were actually smuggling and giving to some of the people there. And of course, like everybody keeps it quiet. And because they're not telling anyone that they have a radio that can listen to the outside world. And throughout the documentary, they're in North Korea and they're showing life as it is, and it's darn hard. It's crazy. But they were also showing one thing that is interesting, that as time goes by, more and more of the population doesn't hesitate to rant back at the North Korean army. And they were showing this woman that the North Korean army was saying that she shouldn't, I don't remember what, she was doing something on her property, and it was like illegal to do so. And she was ranting at them like, go away, and I do as I want, and just tell your, government and whatever your top, generals that this is the way it's going to be here, and that's it. And they were saying that one of the things they were seeing more and more lately was that they were capable, and they were actually being able to. They would answer back more and more to the army in place, which kind of tells you that a lot of them are just really, really tired of the way it is. It's crazy over there. It's really, really crazy. Chastang says, just like occupied Europe, listening to BBC and allies to hear what was really happening. Yep. Denise says, the last survey indicated by Radio France International had 41 million listeners, mostly African, and 15 million visit on their webpage. The last BBC survey of shortwave that dates back to, I think, something like 2016, 17, says that according to their estimates, at any one time in a week, there will be a total of 300 million people in Africa, Middle East, and Asia that at one time during the week will have tuned to one of the BBC World Service broadcasts. That's a lot of people. And it tells you that shortwave is still there. There's no 300 million people at the same time listening.
There's 300 million people in Africa?
I said Africa, Middle East, and Asia.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting. There's many more people than we think that listen to shortwave still, especially there. Mark Schmidt, nice to have you here from Maine. Bill, nice to have you here. Mr. Paul is at my home. I'm not at home, so Mr. Paul is not here.
Yes, it is the bowl day, not the cat day.
So is that a Tampa Bay hat?
Yes, Grapple Pearls would be happy to be here tonight. I don't have my Patriots hat. I have the Buccaneers hat.
Then he says, Voice of America website indicates 278 million listeners in 47 languages on a weekly basis, especially in countries where freedom is limited. And don't forget one thing: every time there's a earthquake or something that could be that means population have a hard time getting any news. There's a lot of there's broadcasts that are added and stuff like that. You know what, Bill? Internet radio is not catching on. You know why? First of all, internet radio has been on for such a long time. There's no more listeners today, pretty much, than there was 10 years ago. And in countries like in Africa, in Middle East and Asia, all the countries over there, there's the internet is not capable of having them listen to internet radio, really. And shortwave is still the main way they can get free speech. They can get all the information they want. But internet radio in general is not really a thing. There's some people that are, but Matt says that sounds like fun, and since they can't really go deep into the interior of Antarctica, they can just say it's the edge.
I just like how, in the last 10 minutes or so, there's a mix of people talking radio and other people talking at Formula One with me in the chat.
That's your problem. I'm never coming back here ever again.
There's free alcohol.
I actually paid half of it.
That table over there, you want to pay half of that?
That one is free. I know. Okay, I'm gonna go get a drink.
See you next week.
Oh man.
So, if there's anything else you want to talk about?
Let me just check the chat room.
No.
The bad thing about sponsors, they want you to, they want you to do what they want you to do. That's the thing.
I think there are a few drops left in here. You want
A few drops. There's
Yeah.
a few drops left.
I can feel it again after.
I can feel it again.
I
Few
got a
drops.
feeling. No, cannot sing. Or you're
The
gonna be
sake.
right.
No, there was the short. I was thinking about the shortwave song I did the other day when we were talking about Christmas or something. It's like I started putting radio lyrics on a Christmas song. I got a few people saying, "Oh man, that's a winner! You should do a Christmas shortwave song or just a shortwave song."
You're gonna sing that Jingle Bell song that is not Jingle Bell.
Yeah, right. I'll do it radio style instead
It's,
of that version, which is really bad.
18 plus. We can talk about that.
New and Totter says, money greases the wheels of life, but it doesn't mean the vehicle is roadworthy. I like that. I like that. What else do we have? Let me just go down.
I mean,
Like
we've
discount,
busted the 3 hours now.
discount. Hey, Brian Penny, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Nice to have you here. He's the guy behind mysterious packages that go for Paul the Cat that I get from time to time. Moonfest Madness, sake, yeah. You do a Christmas song like not the one like in The Simpsons. What is it? Jingle Bells, band smells, and whatever.
Yeah, that rings a bell, but no, I haven't watched The Simpsons in a while.
I've been watching The Simpsons again because of using one of those mysterious websites on the internet through the browser of my TV, and they have like every single season up to now that you can just binge watch The Simpsons. And I started, Robin laid an egg. And I started like watching every episode and like just binge watching. It's like, oh man.
Extending the extra saying that my hat matches the color of the word Red Bull on the wall. Get me in the
yes.
That thing. Get me the hat.
And that thing. You need to get something in that thing.
The Red Bull hat that's on the left.
There's something in that thing.
The Red Bull hat that's on the left.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
The one with yellow. Yeah, that's gonna match the red.
Oops.
Doesn't matter.
Here we go.
There you go. You want Red Bull? You got Red Bull.
I'm gonna do a little joke here.
What?
Do a little joke here.
What is he doing?
Well, I got that. I got vodka, Baileys, and all sorts of the good stuff.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah.
here we go. Back to the camera. The Simpsons predicted everything. They know the future. I mean, when they opened that box from Japan with all the disease inside, it was the pandemic. It was the pandemic.
That was a good one. Yeah, I like that one.
Oh man.
I've been catching up on South Park for the last few days. Feels like some bad words are coming easier into my mouth. And I think I haven't watched South Park maybe for a few years. I've watched like 12 seasons in 2 weeks when the game The Stick of Truth came out. Then I catched up when The Fractured Butthole came out.
The fractured This is like, yeah. Okay.
And yeah, for 2-3 years I haven't watched South Park really, and like yesterday or the day before, it's like I feel like watching South Park.
Frank Tillman, nice to have you on board. Nino Savat wants a little Irish cream.
I don't have Irish cream, but Bailey's is pretty close.
Well, it's kind of. Chastang, Bailey's, and butterscotch snaps.
I have butter shot, which is pretty much your Werther's original.
Oh, the Bailey got it floated.
liquid.
Butterscotch snaps. Okay. It's called a buttery nipple. Okay. There's a buttery nipple.
No, I actually never had a buttery nipple in any way.
So you got to what? You got to float the Bailey on the butterscotch snaps. So if you do that, we'll have a buttery nipple tonight. So we'll have to try it.
You can imagine, I never had buttery nipples. In any way you can possibly think.
Oh God.
Not even on the internet.
I think we're getting a little.
I think it's time to wrap it up at some point.
No, we should do buttery nipples. Do you have what it takes?
I have butter, but
no, it takes. Look, what he says is you have to float the Bailey on the butterscotch snaps. Okay. So you put butterscotch and you put the Bailey. It should be on top, and that's the buttery nipple.
We should ask our waitress to do it before to show us how it's done.
J1SM69, by chance, have you seen any military-age foreigners that appear to be Chinese in your area? Not that I've, I mean, there's a lot of Chinese people here, but not that I know of. I don't, really kind of talk too much about the Chinese people in general, but
Moonfest Madness, speaking about buttery nipples, said they don't call it cocktails for nothing.
Now we're gonna have to restrict the age of this video.
No, it's a cocktail. It's a cocktail. Oh my God.
I mean,
that's how an anything goes show should be.
Oh God, we're far from radio right now. So I was looking at my text and receiver the other day, and all I could think of is buttery nipples. This is crazy. Chastang, yeah, that's right. But you got to float the Baileys. Brian, Baileys is better. Schnapps on bottom. So, okay, schnapps on bottom and pour the Bailey to float it. Okay, we gotta try it. Can I try it? I mean, it's your alcohol.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just like, taking the alcohol. And do you have a very small glass that we can
check on that?
Okay. So we're gonna try
on the tray.
I have no idea what I'm.
Check on the tray. Okay. Otherwise, I have the blue glasses that your mom used to have in the kitchen.
Okay, maybe we could try with a shot.
But is
small?
Butterscotch snap, is it the same as our butter shot that we have? Is it?
I think it's gonna still work because it probably have the same consistency.
If you need a spoon to drip it very slowly, there's some in the kitchen.
So I'm gonna take the Baileys and your butter shot.
Yeah, it's probably not open and dusty.
This one?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, change color. So okay, guys, I'm trying something experiment. I don't want to do it live in front of the camera because I don't want to humiliate myself.
Good. the kitchen is that way,
So talk about F1 racing or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can talk about how I got into the show with Gilles, my uncle. For those who don't know why we are together, he is my uncle, my father's brother. We did from the couch 3 years ago. First, tentatively trying to do YouTube stuff together. It gave me my first YouTube experience, and then after that I got my current job, and we did a live show 2 years ago, live from the North Pole. That's pretty much an Easter egg to say that I work for a Christmas company. If you have kids and it's been a harsh time, look at the Portable North Pole, PNP. mobile app and website. It's super cool to send messages from Santa to your kids. But yeah, we did that 2 years ago. And for the last 6 months, we've been doing some Formula One videos, something that I wish to really develop. And coming here today really felt like it was a different mood than any other live shows I did with Gilles. Felt more like, okay, now I'm more into it, more into the whole YouTube thing, and I got more experience. Super cool. How is your drink going?
It's going really well.
He said it's going really well.
Actually, I'm gonna have one for you too.
Oh, and there's more shot glasses if you look next to the counter.
Okay, there's no two.
Oh yeah, there's another one there too. Yeah.
I'm gonna take that one.
Yeah.
Because it's working. Oh, it's not the same glass though.
No, but the same type. If you look on next to the window,
I'm gonna see through the nice.
the second tablet. There's more.
Anybody else has some alcohol recipes?
Yeah, if you have alcohol recipes, shout it out. So what am I missing as comments?
On my right.
Yes, it's true. I live in the first world. I'm trying to figure out what I want to drink. You know what? It's true, Gilles. First world problem. What do you want to drink tonight?
What?
First world problem. What do you want to drink tonight?
Yeah.
It's not. Am I gonna drink tonight?
Yeah.
It's true, but and Chaz Tank. NORAD answers the phone live with updates on Santa movements. The company I work with is partnered with NORAD for Santa's tour around the world on Christmas Eve. So yeah, if you look at NORAD on Christmas on December 24th, you might see some ads for my company at Portable North Pole. I'm drinking tea rolling fatties. Yeah, that's not the same as our sake. Do I have anything left here? I do. And yeah, it's just really cool. You know, we've been looking at way to do our sake show for the last few months. We were supposed to do something like in October, I think, but when the second wave of COVID-19 started, it was more like, okay, let's just stay home and wait and see what happens. And then figured out, okay, I live alone. I can invite one person here. So yeah, let's buy some sake.
I am an expert. This is number one.
Oh.
This is number one.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Butter shot and Bailey's on top. So this is number one. Number two's coming.
Oh my God. That's so cool. I mean, you would be good to do a black and tan at the bar too, eh?
I need to open the bar.
Like one of my friends at my job keeps asking for black and tan. You know, it's like this blonde beer and Guinness on top, and nobody can do it. You would be good for that.
Because you gotta be really slow at doing it.
Yeah, you have to be really slow at doing it. It's some film.
Or else it doesn't work.
What? Do you have it? Is it all right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Well, yeah, not talking about what you were talking about.
Okay, just drop everything in the sink after that. It's fine. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, you bring me a drink, and I don't remember what I was saying. That's
so.
I did not even drink, and I forgot what I was saying.
That's normal. It's called Alzheimer's.
Okay, I thought it was called being drunk, but
it's called Alzheimer's.
So you're kind of young. I don't know why, but it's like.
I'm sure this is gonna be good.
I know it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be good.
Look at that, guys. It is beautiful.
What the heck's gonna happen?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it worked.
Cheers, yeah.
So cheers.
Okay, so I have the Chrono Trigger glass. You have the regular shot glass. I have the Chrono Trigger glass for video games fans.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Do you want to just
Wow.
rinse them and put them in the sink?
That was good. Thanks for the recipe.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. You know, it reminds me of when one of my uncle, that is not Gilles, you know, the boring uncle you have in your family, once suggested to put cream with sortilège, which is
It's a
maple syrup whiskey.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, it's like fudge when you mix both together in a shot. But you know, it's like that boring, stupid uncle who suggests that. We taste it and we're like, oh my god, that guy can have good ideas sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's the only. It's the only time we ever saw him drunk.
Yes, that's true. It's the only time he truly drank with us. Irish car bomb. What goes in Irish car bombs already? I know I drank that before, but I'm not 100% sure what goes in there. Irish car bomb. What's in there? It's Irish cream with Guinness, Irish cream and Baileys. Yeah, I don't have some Guinness here because I don't really like dark beers. So Cherry Hill. Where did I hear that before? Cherry Hill. Yeah, the company I work with got a partnership with the Cherry Hill Malls for pictures with Santa Claus. So, no, that it's David P. Miller from Cherry Hill. It's like, where did I heard that before? Yes, we had Santa Claus had a partnership with Cherry Hill before.
David P. Miller, nice to have you from New Jersey. Man.
Oh my god.
So,
is there anything?
Jay Waterston, Perry Island Open Air Mole Pub. Open a pub on Perry Island.
Ooh.
That would be.
Yeah, you did not.
Anything else I missed here?
It's going more and more toward an anything goes show at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you know, that's why we like it. So even though I have a
takes some practice to really flow the Irish cream, but they are great when done. Well, you got to do it really slowly, but it works.
Did you use a spoon?
Yes, I used a spoon. And actually, I used another shot glass to put on the spoon and slowly drip it in so that it.
So you probably took
separated.
The shot glass with 3 hearts on it, which is.
No, I took the your Kampai shot glass that was here.
So you had the.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Pretty good. So you know, this is we're gonna have to do a beer and spirits channel or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about
a duck fart. A duck fart. That's Kimberly in California. A third Bailey's, a third Kahlua, a third Royal Crown whiskey.
One of the drink I've tried recently because I have this app on my Windows tablet where you enter pretty much every liquors and everything you have in your kitchen, and they suggest you drinks.
Yeah, David P. Miller, we had all of that radio talk today and everything. We're at the end of the show, so
with eggs, stuff like that. And one of the drink I tried is like I think it's vermouth, gin. What are those? Cointreau, and one of the other bottle I got there. I don't remember which one, but it's green emerald stuff.
Okay.
It's actually really good, but you don't drink 2 of that.
No worry, Bill. I'm at walking distance from home. He's about walking distance. What? 25 minutes? 20 minutes?
25 if you're slow. If you walk fast, 15 is doable.
15 to 20 minutes. So
Yep.
Merry Christmas for
I mean, worst case, you can use a couch. I don't care. I have Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes.
Fruit Loops. I've not had Fruit Loops in ages.
Do you want Fruit Loops?
So, hey, we've been on for 3 hours and 30 minutes. Hope you enjoyed the show.
No. Sorry. In 25 seconds, it's going to be 3 hours and a half.
Oh, please.
So you have to wait another 20 seconds before
Please.
wrapping it up. Shut up.
Yeah, you should shut up.
Either you're a liar or you do it right.
Shut up.
So in 15,
That's why we don't do live shows together. We just rant all the time.
So in 10 seconds, we go offline and screw you guys.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So let's go for 5. Yeah, right. We're going to be like real drunk.
I mean, I could go for 5. It's just we should switch channel to an 18 plus.
Yeah, you know, of course, you know that I have no problem in doing like 6 hours, but you know, I don't want to go crazy either.
I like how on your gaming laptop, WASD are different colors.
Yes, because that's the main gaming
I know.
keys for, you know.
Do I look that stupid?
Yes.
I
like the fact that it changes color.
I use an Xbox controller when I play on PC, but I still know what WASD is.
I bought this laptop because of the changing keyboard. That's all.
By the way, how is that Xbox controller I gave you?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's works great.
You know, I got something here. A few years ago, when we were doing From the Couch,
Yeah.
the retro gaming after that, I brought an Xbox controller, and you always said, "Oh my God, it's the best controller I ever played with."
On PC.
On PC, yeah. For PC. And is it last year or the year before?
Last year.
Last year.
It's a year old now.
I was always looking for a chance to give him a USB Xbox controller, and last year's like, you know, we did some stuff like because of my job where I have a lot of different mobile phones. We did stuff where he would borrow them, and you know, pretty much he was paying stuff and I would get stuff for free. And I was looking for a way to repay him, and I thought, okay, he liked the Xbox controller to play on laptop because it was 100% responsive compared to the
ones I had were like
Chinese.
What I had were like
with
Chinese
5 seconds delay.
Chinese crap.
So,
you know.
and I remember, I don't know if because maybe we were drunk or if it was, you know, fully
all of that,
fully, you know, sincere, but you were almost crying when you opened that box.
I was really happy. I was very,
like,
very
you know,
happy to have
I was looking for how.
I was really, really happy to get
and
it.
what?
I used it a lot this year.
Which color is it?
It's transparent. It's
no, I mean, but isn't there any LED?
Yeah, the blue lights.
The blue light. That's you told when I asked you 3 years ago, what color would you prefer?
Mm-hmm.
You told me the blue.
Okay.
So when I went to the Best Buy and I said, okay, blue USB.
I used it.
Xbox USB controller.
Used it. I used it a lot. Anyways, you guys want to see it? Yes,
you know you're a geek when you have an Xbox controller in your bag.
Well, you know, I got a gaming laptop.
I mean,
the controller needs to be there.
I don't blame you. I was going to university and I was.
It was a controller.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I was going to university and I was carrying mine. So yeah, it's cool. Mine is an Xbox 360, but it's pretty much the same as the Xbox One.
But I like it. It's a lot of fun and.
But I was.
My hands get numb when I play racing games, and it's always vibrating.
I was happy and really touched the emotions that went.
I was very happy
when you unwrapped.
And I used it so much this year, and every game that I played, it was really great.
It was really cool.
Randy says, "Great show, Joe. Goodbye, everybody." So you know what? I want to take this time and opportunity to say to everybody and wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a great holiday season, a great Hanukkah for those that are there, and a great New Year. I want you guys to, let's focus on next year. I think we all just want to do that.
I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone first, of course, and take time to realize that everyone here on this chat who is watching this is privileged to be where you are, because not to, and I'm just talking about the fact that people in third world countries. Also thinking about when you read in the news, December 23rd, whatever apartment building caught on fire. These people are not getting a Merry Christmas.
Mm. There's a lot of stuff, that prevents us, and we got to take it the best we can of what's happened. I know that a lot of you have had, a hard year. A lot of you have had.
It was hard on everyone.
And some had a harder time than others. But one of the things that I will always remember, when I did a special Sunday show when everything started shutting down, I remember somebody posted, "I want to thank you so much, because in this time when we lose all our points of reference in life because of what's happening, well, you're there and you are doing this show. It takes my mind off of what's happening." And throughout the year, a lot of you have actually come back to me saying, "Thank you so much for what you're doing. It gets our mind off of everything that is happening out there, and the fact that there's we can't really meet a lot of people and everything. That means that this is where we meet, and we are a great gang." And I don't know about you, but I say this all the time. Even though it's just a chat room when people talk, I have the impression when I'm live that I'm doing a show and that there's a room full of people here. And when that stops and the chat room stops, it's almost like I feel alone suddenly, because it's like there were tons of people there and now they're gone. The live show's gone. It's weird to feel that you have with that. So take care, everybody. Have a great holiday season. I will be posting videos, even though I don't do live shows for the next 2 weeks.
So where can we, for those who don't follow your other channels, where can we find you?
Oh God.
Well, the main ones.
Windows 10 and computers, which is the main Windows channel. There's another one for those that want to know a little more about what's happening inside Windows and Microsoft, which is called Windows Insider Fan Page. And for those asking why I changed the name, because Microsoft came back to me and said, "You gotta change that name because Windows Insider official channel is not, we can't accept that." So I changed it to Windows Insider Fan Page. And of course, there's other stuff, but we have the VHF UHF channel. Don't forget that the first show of the new year, first thing we'll be doing is the VHF UHF show on the official VHF UHF channel. Don't forget, for those, because even though we're not on that channel, starting December 24th all the way through December 31st, the International Space Station has a slow scan TV event. So all you have to do is know when the International Space Station passes over your head. It is on 145.800 megahertz in the 2-meter band, 145.800. And you can actually tune in and decode the pictures. The pictures will be in reference to the 20th anniversary of the ARIS, or Amateur Radio on Board International Space Station station. Also, don't forget, we have the Canadian International DX Club that has a great bulletin called a Messenger. If you've never asked for a sample copy, you can ask CIDX club at yahoo.com, CIDX club at yahoo.com. You can ask for a sample copy. I'm editor of the utility column every month there. And it's a great publication, electronic publication, for those that want to learn radio and want to have all sorts of information of every aspect of the radio hobby. Also, me and Sheldon Harvey are part of, or co-hosts of, the International Radio Report on a Montreal station, which is CKUT 90.3 FM in Montreal, every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. some amazing shows coming up. So there's this Sunday show that's going to be cool. Next week's show, we have a special guest. And you guys, if you've been a fan of Radio Canada International over the years, we have a special guest. You have to tune in. You can go to ckut.ca to actually listen to the archive of the show. It has 3 months of shows that you can listen to. And of course, if you're in Montreal, CKUT is on 90.3 FM. ckut.ca, you can stream it live at 15:30 UTC, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. And that's pretty much it. There's all the stuff that I do. And I want to thank everybody. And I'll be posting some videos on the channel, even though I'm not here for the next 2 weeks. So the next 3 shows are VHF UHF channel, January 3rd, Sunday, at 21 hours UTC for 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll talk about what's happening in the world above 30 megahertz. And the Shortwave channel, we're back on January the 6th, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 0 hours UTC. And the Saturday show, the next Saturday show will be on January the 9th at 20 hours UTC, 3 p.m. Eastern. Have a great holidays. Have all the radio gifts that you can dream of. And take care, everybody. It's always a lot of fun to be here. Thank you for being my co-host today, Gabriel.
Always a pleasure. I wish that we can find ways to do stuff like that more often. I mean, 2020 was special.
We'll have to arrange something. Maybe that could be the focus of the new channel. We could start and see what we can do with.
I mean, we have time to talk after that.
So take care, everybody.
Thank you,
Stay
everyone.
safe. Love you all. Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy New Year.
Bing bang bong bong.
That was that. Bing bang bong bong. Well, bing bang bong bong, everybody. Bye.